yesterday that the regulation would be costly to financial institutions and could ruin small businesses. A driver being cited for hitting a state trooper's squad car in Chicago. Authorities saying a Jeep ran into the back of a squad Tuesday night at I-55 and Joliet Road. No troopers were hurt, but the driver of that Jeep, Charles Rusinski, was cited for a Scots Law violation and DUI, among other charges. Bulls overcome a 20-point deficit in a 102-99 win over the Orlando Magic. Kobe White, 21 in the win. Josh Giddey, a double-double.
We found ourselves in a few holes in the last couple of games, but to regroup at halftime, come out in that third quarter the way we did, fight all the way back from a 20-point deficit, shows the character of this group. So big win, and this crowd was unbelievable tonight.
Chicago's won 3 of 4, and they visit the Nets tomorrow night. The Blackhawks look to get a winning streak going when they visit San Jose tonight. The Bears still dealing with a number of injuries. At practice yesterday, defensive back Jaquan Brisker, along with Kyler Gordon, and offensive lineman Braxton Jones, all miss practice. And for the second time in 5 years, the LA Dodgers are World Series champs. Dodgers clinching their 8th championship in franchise history after rallying for a 7-6 Game 5 win over the Yankees. The news, a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. What if you could save an average of 90% for dental implants and get 100% of your smile back? With a Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO, or FEP, it's possible. Check if you qualify at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Aid for Women, Best Dental Group of Bartlett, and by the Michael Alfaro Radio Show.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Everything about your product is 100%. I look forward to it. I'll put it that way. I'm 71 years old. Balance of Nature is the absolute best product. I love your product. And you guys, when I call you on the phone, you're the best. So I'm very grateful.
My husband's a retired cop, and I worked in a hospital for years. I'm going out right now because I'm getting ready to paint my fence. It's just literally amazing. And, you watch the TV articles and you go, yeah. Well, at least it's 100% returnable if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. It is the most amazing product I've ever taken.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
Now, the big wireless companies want to limit you to 2 choices when it comes to data, unlimited or unlimited. And guess what? Both are stupidly expensive. Now, stop overpaying for data that you're never, ever going to use. That's like paying for a pot of coffee when all you need is a cup, or filling your entire truck bed full of gas when you only need a tank. Now, with Pure Talk, my cell phone company, you get to choose how much data that you actually want and need. And for example, for $25 a month, you'll get unlimited talk and text, 5 gigs of data, which is more than enough, and they'll include mobile hotspot and roaming in 50-plus countries. Stop overpaying for wireless. Get America's best 5G coverage with Pure Talk. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword SAVE NOW, and do it now. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. The switch is simple, fast, and easy. No contract to sign, no activation fee, and you keep your phone and your phone number. Pound 250, keyword SAVE NOW, the same service for much less, for about half, from Pure Talk.
It's 5:10. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and this update, a service of LifeLock. Remember to update your software to fix security issues that identity thieves exploit to steal personal info. And for comprehensive identity theft protection, choose LifeLock at lifelock.com and start your 30-day free trial today. It's a wind advisory today, gusts up to 45 miles an hour. Look for those down tree limbs and power lines, and especially for the big rigs. Difficult driving conditions. Our friends in Kenosha County in Wisconsin, 41 or 94, whatever you call it there, right at Highway KR. A couple of vehicles are on fire with a right lane block, and delays on I-55 ramp work construction right at Route 59. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
A wind advisory this afternoon. Clouds and showers. Winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. High today 67. Temperature sliding into the 50s. Partly cloudy, breezy, cold tonight, low 38. Sunny tomorrow, the high 53. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now, 70 at O'Hare, 70 at Midway, 66 in Aurora, 69 in Kankakee, and along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answers starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
I'm worried about Mom. She's having a tough time moving around the house.
Oh, I know. She still thinks she can do everything on her own.
Exactly, but I've been over there every day this week, helping her navigate the stairs, cooking meals, reminding her to take her medicine. I'm always nervous when I leave.
You know what? I admire you for taking care of Mom. But your family needs you too. And what if she slips and falls? A friend recommended the caregivers at Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. They service Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. They guarantee compatibility and they'll conduct a free safety assessment of her home. Plus, they'll provide as little or as much care as Mom needs.
Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest, offering both hourly and live-in care. Schedule a free assessment today by calling 331-281-0728. That's 331-281-0728. Again, that's 331-281-0728. And tell them AM 560 sent you. Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. Senior care, only better.
Hi, I'm Matt Nadeau with Pearshell Financial Group of Apollon and host of Chicago's Real Money Pros. When managing stock and bond portfolios, we believe in the concept of buy and hold, but with a disciplined exit strategy. There are times in the stock market when the risks simply outweigh the potential returns, and it's time to get out. Don't believe the simplistic notion that you have to ride stocks all the way down to the bottom in a market crash. There is a need for an exit strategy, not based on fear or emotion, but on good research. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros, where we will talk about an exit strategy for stocks and bonds. Visit our website at chicagosrealmoneypros.com, where you'll find upcoming workshops and other financial content. That's chicagosrealmoneypros.com. Log on today and use our Ask the Experts feature to get your questions answered.
Investment advisory services are offered by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC.
If you own or run a business and you listen to AM 560, you might not realize that the conservative programming that you enjoy is supported by advertisers. Our loyal listeners love to do business with the advertisers they hear every day on AM 560. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some businesses who avoid advertising with us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our audience wants to support businesses that support what we do and think like we think. We would love to have you join the list of successful companies who are already reaching new, like-minded customers. Most AM 560 advertisers have been here for years for one simple reason: they get results. Join our efforts to make a difference in the lives of our listeners who are passionate about supporting our great family of AM 560 advertisers. To learn more, just visit 560theanswer.com 560theanswer.com/advertise. That's 560theanswer.com/advertise.
Attention, anyone with high blood pressure.
If you want to seriously control your blood pressure and not be a walking time bomb,
Order 120 Life today.
120 Life is an amazing blend of superfruit juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure. It's been endorsed by thousands of health professionals and doesn't have the side effects of medication.
With ingredients that have shown to naturally help control blood pressure, 120 Life could be the natural game changer in your life.
Try it for yourself, risk-free, with a 2-week trial pack.
Go to 120life.com and use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
120 Life is so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in just 2 weeks, they'll give you your money back if you're not satisfied.
Order the 8-ounce drink or powdered mix. From pomegranates to cranberries, it's the delicious way to lower blood pressure.
Go to 120life.com now. Use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Listen this Sunday for inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. Imagine 9 days basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise in the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Aruba, and more. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope energizes and challenges you. Secure your spot before spaces run out by calling 855-565-5519 or online at PragerCruise.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. That was a quick turnaround by the Trump campaign to capitalize on the big guy's gaffe, if you will. Some could call it a gaffe, others can just call it a Freudian slip. This is what they really do believe about the Trump supporters, who are alternatively deplorables and insurrectionists and Nazis and garbage. The quick turnaround was Trump rolling up in his newly minted garbage truck in Green Bay ahead of his rally yesterday.
Garbage truck. This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
And the new truck with the Trump logo and American flags was quite something, in addition to Trump donning the safety vest.
That's what I was going to say. The best part is the safety. I was going to wear one today and be Trump for Halloween. I like that thing's hot. He's bringing back sexy in the safety vest.
Yeah, it was rather unique, but it was good campaign stuff there to seize on this and to turn it into essentially a meme. Trump aided the effort by agreeing to wear the safety vest when he spoke to the throngs of garbage in Green Bay. He explained why.
And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, and they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage. I may never wear a blue jacket again. I may go.
I'll tell you what, it would be a good look for him to be inaugurated wearing the safety vest, I think. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line and text line.
I just loved, seeing that garbage truck, and I'm thinking, oh, no, he's not. But with the Trump sign, and then it's driving onto the tarmac, I'm like thinking, oh, no, he's not. And yes, he did. And he had a message for Joe and Kamala.
250 million people. That's what I think the real number is for making America great again. 250 million, the real number. They don't think in terms of garbage, okay? They don't use terms like that, and it's a shame. And Joe Biden should be ashamed of himself if he knows what he's even doing. And she should be ashamed because she shouldn't let him do it. She's the vice president, but I assume she's acting as the president. She should never have let that happen. I hope you enjoyed this garbage truck. Thank you very much, everyone.
Kamala was asked if she sympathizes with Trump supporters who feel like the President of the United States just called them garbage, and classic Kamala in response.
Do you sympathise with any voters who do feel offended by or insulted by the garbage comments?
I am running for president of the United States. I will be traveling to 3 states today to do what I have been doing throughout, which is talking with the American people about the fact that, first of all, I get it in terms of the concerns they have about challenges like the price of groceries.
She's asked if it's fair that people feel insulted by the president, and she talks about she gets people's angst over the price of groceries. I mean, it's just so ham-handed. It is so painful to watch her make these pivots at the rate of a battleship. But that's Kamala. That's Kamala being Kamala. She's got her line. She's got her responsibilities, and she's going to go out there and repeat them no matter what the context.
And then she talked to she talked to Biden after her big event in front of the White House, which completely got destroyed by Biden's comments. And she said that they didn't bring that what he
didn't come up.
It didn't come up. Just didn't come up. Next question. Yeah.
Should
have come up. That's something that should have come up, yes.
Well, I mean, leveraging the last 24 hours, as Trump did well, leading into that rally in Green Bay yesterday. Brett Favre was on stage.
I have a new boyfriend.
He was there, and he responded to the trash, or to the garbage comment, the trashing of Trump supporters.
I want to address the comment that Joe Biden made yesterday or last night that said the supporters of Donald Trump, us, or garbage. I can assure you we're not garbage. How dare he say that looking out? I see police officers, teachers, nurses, grandparents, students. I see everyday Americans that make this country great.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Tom in Munster, Indiana.
Doing long-time listener. I just wanted to call and say that, I've been a Trump supporter for a long time. Had to deal with a lot of family members who are not. And I always told my family, hey, this guy's funny. And they said, he's not funny. This guy only insults people. And yesterday proves that. I think he should change it from MAGA to Make America Laugh Again. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
That's the humor. That's the joy. The Democrats are winning. Abortion is not joy. They try to turn it into it. So we've got the funny part.
So we've got MAGA, we've got Maha, and now we have Mala.
MAGA. I'm writing this down. Maha. Oh, and by the way, real quick, just as a note from yesterday, we forgot to, we did the list of how they called us deplorables, and then they called us Nazis, and now we're garbage. We forgot weird in between deplorables. And,
wow, that was really on J.D. Vance. That was really J.D. Vance. I don't know if they really cast that aspersion on the Trump universe globally, but yeah, there's a lot that goes both ways. Dan in Salem, Wisconsin. Did you vote yet?
Dan, I voted in Salem Township yesterday in Wisconsin. It was the first time I ever voted early in my whole life.
How did it go?
Next time.
Any problems?
No, it was easy. Just walk right in. They were all nice to me, all sweet. We all were joking about Halloween and stuff and making, what kind of candy we're going to eat. But anyway, next time Trump is having his rally up on the stage, he should have Oscar on Sesame Street as a puppet and do a puppet show. That would be a killer.
Okay. All right. Thanks
There were a
for the
lot
call,
of
Dan.
Oscar the Grouch memes going around yesterday.
Yeah. I think Chappelle's already done that, but Greg in Schaumburg.
Morning, Dan and Amy. In addition to the garbage comment last night late, there was a story where it shows Biden biting kids in Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you is this.
I
Why
want you
is
in my belly.
it up? Excuse me?
No,
It's a
go ahead,
reference
Greg.
to a
Go ahead, Greg.
movie. that I
Oh,
actually
okay.
know about.
So my question, okay, now Ty, serious up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Why is it, did you think, that they didn't pull the 25th Amendment earlier in the year when it was to their advantage to do so? And the reason why I say that is
Earlier
she
in the
would
year.
be president. She would have been the first woman president. She would be operating from an inordinate position of strength right now. But there's something there that caused Nancy Pelosi and Obama not to pull that string.
They don't
What is
like her. They didn't. I mean, they were
No.
even thinking about replacing her.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, but this year that was no longer the case. I'd say, well, there's a couple of things. One is the polling wasn't bad enough.
Oh,
It wasn't bad
right.
enough. I mean, they've gotten away with it for the past, 3.5+ years. So maybe they can get away with it for another 6 months with the strategy of, demonizing Trump as much as possible to make it a referendum on him. It hadn't been bad enough yet.
Then there was the June debate.
Right. So there's that. The other, and then ostensibly, so sort of we're led to believe the deal was essentially you go or the 25th Amendment. And I'm sure there was some consideration given for what he could do post November 5th with respect to family members and the like. So I think that's part of it. I mean, I think that's a big part of it. The other thing is, remember her slogan, the branding of her campaign, turn the page.
Oh.
Well, you can't turn the page if you're the president. If you're the president and
then you own everything.
then you own all these policies you've been supportive of for 3 years, and you're spending your time as president defending them, and now you're into the election cycle. You can't do I was just the vice president. There'd be some things different because I'm not Joe Biden, so on and so forth. But you were president. And you didn't do anything other than continue the policies of, the Biden-Harris administration. So I don't think it worked. I think there needed to be a separation without the and if she ever had the responsibility of presidency, the possibility of separation would have been minimized considerably, right? Rich in Indian Head Park.
Morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Happy Halloween to you guys.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, happy Halloween. Wait,
Dan
are
loves
Are we all
Halloween.
going trick-or-treating, Rich?
Yes, we are.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, we're all going trick-or-treating,
All
right.
right.
And it's Ronnie Woo Woo's
We're all gonna
birthday.
We're all going to be dressed up as the scariest costumes of Biden and Harris.
There you go.
What I wanted to say is she goes around the country saying how she's going to be a president for all the people, but yet her and Biden continue to call them fascists and garbage. So how's she going to be the president of all the people when she attacks half the country? Thanks.
Thanks for the call, Rich. Appreciate it. Well, Trump made that very same point effectively in his remarks in Green Bay yesterday.
And I have to begin by saying 250 million Americans are not garbage. This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way. And they actually mean it, even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. Higher quality. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. That's true.
Coming up at 5:38, media interference of D.C. press corps, specifically interference in the election 2024, and reflecting back on 2020 when they acted similarly. 5:38.
And then later he said he wouldn't do it, but yet he's doing it. We'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
66 degrees at 5:31. Survivors of the worst natural disaster to hit Spain this century have awoken to scenes of devastation. Villages completely wiped out by monstrous flash flooding that claimed at least 95 lives, and the death toll will go up. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump spending Halloween campaigning in Arizona. Harris holding a Democrat rally in Phoenix, while Trump will be rallying in Glendale. Both candidates will be in Nevada today as well. Yesterday, Harris on the campaign trail in Battleground, Wisconsin.
As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress.
Former President Trump spoke Wednesday at a rally in Green Bay, where he rode in on a garbage truck in honor of Kamala and Joe, he said.
And I have to begin by saying 250 million Americans are not garbage.
For the second time in 5 years, the LA Dodgers are World Series champions.
Because you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, we were down 2-1 in the NLDS, and it easily could have gotten away from us. And to come back and win those 2 games and to keep it going like we did, it's just a special group of guys.
The Dodgers, Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers clinching their 8th championship in franchise history. We're watching North Korea this morning, where there has been a launch of an ICBM intended as a message, it says, to its rivals. South Korea's defense ministry says the ballistic missile was launched from Pyongyang around 7 a.m. local time and landed in the Sea of Japan. Mayor Brandon Johnson is proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike. AM 560's Greg Bishop recaps Budget Day at City Hall.
The city expects to spend more than $18 billion in the current first. The city faces nearly $1 billion in deficits. He said taxpayer spending continues as he works to find efficiencies, but pushed back against any mass layoffs or reductions in city services.
That is why this budget currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million to fund and keep our commitment to fund not just our pension contributions, but to fund the future of our city.
At an unrelated event in Chicago Wednesday, Governor J.B. Pritzker said the state continues to increase the amount of tax dollars going to local governments, including Chicago.
People feel like, there isn't ever enough, but property taxes are already too high.
Illinois already has among the highest property taxes in the country. I'm Greg Bishop.
Mayor Brandon Johnson's pick to head the Chicago Board of Education is facing calls to resign over social media posts about the war between Israel and Hamas. Governor Pritzker is questioning Johnson's vetting process for his choice for school board president.
It feels like Facebook posts are pretty easy to find. And so, we need to, you do have to ask the question, who vetted him?
The governor said vetting is vitally important and, in this case, doesn't seem to have happened. The Bulls overcome a 20-point deficit in a 102-99 win over the Orlando Magic. Kobe White 21 in the win. The Blackhawks visit San Jose tonight, and the top player in hockey dealing with a significant injury. The Oilers announcing Wednesday Connor McDavid will miss at least 3 weeks with an ankle injury. The news, a service of our friends at Valdekas Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality and professional-level window replacement service. Contact Valdekas Windows, your award-winning Platinum, Elite, Pella certified contractor. Visit Valdekas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. Charlie Kirk wonders where the old Democrat Party went.
The Democrat Party was not always this way. Yes, the Democrat Party used to have elements of this. The Democrat Party used to have some uniparty components. But the Democrat Party, 20 or 30 years ago especially, would have thought that open borders, mass migration, hyperinflation was just outrageous. What happened to that Democrat Party?
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of nature. Fruits and veggie supplements are packed with 31 frightfully good whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Our blends help maintain your overall well-being. From the deep red cranberry to the rustic green cabbage, our special formula is no trick. Dare to discover the magical blends within. Open and sprinkle our fruits supplement powder into your cauldron brew, aka morning smoothie, or add our veggie supplement powder to your spooktacular concoction. Soup, we mean soup. This Halloween, treat yourself to a potion of wellness that's wickedly good with Balance of Nature.
Go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. And get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
On October 7th, 2023, terrorists attacked Israel, killing over 1,200 civilians and taking 250 hostages. This resurgence of anti-Semitism in our society is alarming. Today, Jewish people continue to be the target of violent and bigoted attacks. On November 9th, Chosen People Ministries, in partnership with Moody Bible Institute, present the Summit on Opposing Anti-Semitism in Chicago. This event will bring together leaders, scholars, and Jewish believers in Jesus to explore effective strategies for combating anti-Semitism. The summit features distinguished keynote speakers, panel discussions, and workshops designed to equip attendees with practical tools and insights. It is vital for the Christian community to stand against anti-Semitism. Join Chosen People Ministries at Moody Bible Institute on November 9th to stand against anti-Semitism and show solidarity with the Jewish people. Register today at moodyconferences.com. That's moodyconferences.com.
Few understand the impact this election may have on their retirement savings. In less than 30 days, our entire economy could face a monumental shift that could destroy a huge amount of value many Americans have stored in their 401ks or IRAs. In times like these, the most trusted store of wealth in human history stands out: physical gold and silver. Many Americans have looked to True Gold Republic for help. They specialize in helping those with a 401k, IRA, or other retirement accounts convert their stocks and bonds into physical gold and silver to protect their hard-earned savings. True Gold is offering listeners a free copy of their Election Gold Protection Kit today. To claim yours, call 800-300-GOLD. This information is free and might very well save your comfortable retirement. By acting before the election, you can still make a tax and penalty-free conversion with the help of True Gold's award-winning team. Call 800-300-GOLD. That's 800-300-GOLD. True Gold Republic is not a financial advisor. Consult with your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-300-GOLD.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
5:39, Team Hotberg Traffic Center time is a service of Trim Light Chicago. Well, you know, you've got to see it to believe it. Amazing, customizable, permanent, holiday, and year-round accent lighting for the exterior of your home or business. It's not too late to book your holiday installation, but do it today. Trim Light Chicago. Wind advisory up until 10 p.m. tonight. It really starts at 10 a.m., but we're already seeing wind gusts topping 30 miles an hour. That's going to impact you on the drive, especially the big rigs this morning. Things are slow on the tri-state. You've got disabled semis off on the right side on the on-ramp from I-88. Two disabled semis off on the right. Also a vehicle in the ditch there, so that on-ramp from I-88 to the tri-state is a mess this morning. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Morning showers, windy. Temperatures will be dropping through the afternoon. will hit a morning high of around 69, and temps drop through the day. Partly cloudy, breezy, and much colder overnight, low 38. Currently 66 and light rain at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We have our first state has been called. WNEP in the northern part of Pennsylvania is now calling Pennsylvania for Kamala Harris. With 52% of the vote, Kamala Harris has won Pennsylvania. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. What did you make of the accidental graphic that appeared during a Formula One race on that ABC affiliate?
I mean, that right there does not instill confidence in our elections in anyone. And I hate that because I used to be a part of the media. We would do testing. They do Chiron checks. But you don't accidentally let it leak during a Formula One race where people are watching, and then they get confused, like, wait, what? They're already calling the race for Kamala? Huh?
WNEP said they should not have appeared on the screen. It was an error. The numbers seen on the screen were randomly generated test results sent out to help news organizations make sure their equipment is working properly in advance of election night. The numbers were not reflective of any actual vote count, and so on and so forth. And
yeah,
so,
sure. Well, they could have done it the other way, where Trump was on top, 52-47, but their true colors show.
I don't know.
When you do
true colors, it's an accident. I mean, if it's randomly generated numbers to test, then it's randomly generated numbers to test. But so I understand the skepticism, because the mistakes the DC press corps makes always seem to be in the direction to benefit their preferred candidates. So and the party they serve, just as a matter of course, obviously. So I understand the skepticism and the conspiracies this fuels, but as you just said, if it's testing and it's randomly generated results to do Chiron checks and so forth, then that's what it is.
I'm not buying the randomness part, but maybe things have changed since I was in TV news, because
they've gotten worse.
Well, they have gotten worse. But back in the day, you would sit there and you would type in, the results. It wouldn't. There's nothing random about it. So to me, I don't care what the hell that TV station says and comes up with. That's not random.
Well, you would type in what results? You're doing a Chiron check.
Right,
this
a
is
Chiron
an election
check.
Night.
Right, but when you do a Chiron check, you the person who's in charge of Chirons, puts in the information.
Puts in placeholder data.
Right. Like Kamala 52, or he could have put Trump 52. You're like, no, I'll put
possibly, but technology's advanced a little bit since the early 1900s when you were in network affiliate news. So I mean, they could do random generation so you don't have somebody needing to do the data entry. That is possible. I'm just saying. I mean, it's another stain on a already opaque institution that is the DC press corps. But let's not overheat on every little thing, is all I'm saying. But perhaps people want to overheat. It is the season. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. What's more interesting to me and getting less attention, because, it wasn't on TV, and because most people don't know who this guy is, but it's these apocryphal stories that are put out to try and whip the vote for the new Bolsheviks. The Amber Thurman story, which Tim Walz was repeating again. It's a totally fallacious story, but doesn't matter. He's on CBS morning show, and he's saying, and the news reader or whatever they are on CBS, the CBS mornings program, doesn't actually listen and challenge. She's just trying to get an answer to the one question she was told to ask.
One of the things that Vice President Harris says she wants to do is restore abortion rights. Should there be any limits on abortion, including limiting third trimester abortions?
Look, Vice President's been very clear, making sure that we restore the right of Roe versus Wade, making sure that women and their healthcare providers, because these services are healthcare, making sure those decisions are made in the best interest of the health of the mother. And that's exactly what we've talked about the entire time. So for 52 years, we were very clear on where things were at. Donald Trump gleefully talks about the beautiful thing that he's done, which means women having miscarriages in parking lots. I'm down here and was in Georgia yesterday where Amber Thurman died, and it was totally preventable had we not had a Donald Trump abortion ban. So we've been clear about that. Restoration of Roe, that's what we're looking for.
Should there be a federal third trimester abortion ban?
Look, well, I'm going to go back again. Roe was very clear on what they did. We want the restoration of Roe, and that's the position we're taking.
It gives the appearance of challenging Tim Walz when she's really not challenging Tim Walz.
No.
She's just allowing him to platform a false story. Well, along those lines, Nicholas Kristof, who's a columnist for the New York Times, tweeted this out. A struggling Nevada mom suffers a miscarriage. Then the police show up and arrest her for manslaughter, and she's sentenced to 2.5 to 8 years in prison. Only when a pro bono lawyer steps up and appeals does a judge reverse the conviction and set her free to return to her children. This is family values? ? Think about that when you vote. And, of course, this is a Jeff Bezos Amazon Post investigation. So don't get too excited about Bezos putting the kibosh on the Kamala endorse.
But didn't sorry, go on.
So the context or the facts of the case that Nicholas Kristof conveniently left out.
Yeah, the real facts.
The struggling Nevada mom who suffered a miscarriage smoked meth while she was pregnant.
Yeah, that kind of helps. That doesn't
Those are both crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Her baby was well past viability. The autopsy said 28 to 32 weeks. She admitted she smoked meth to kill her baby. Law enforcement believes the baby was born alive and then killed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 2018
Bingo.
before Roe was overturned by the Dobbs decision. Yeah. So other than that, it's a terrible story that speaks to Trump's quote-unquote abortion bans. None of it is true. None of it's true.
Just another smear campaign.
And you cannot be, Nicholas Kristof has to know it's untrue.
Well, why is he, God, is that brainwashed? That he'll just put anything out there? That's journalism 101. Start with the year it happened. Okay, was the Roe v. Wade overturned in that year? No. Roe v. Wade was in place in 2018. Not a story, then move on.
The point is they're doing it again as expected, but it needs to be identified when it's done so the word gets around, a la the Hunter Biden laptop. Just going back to 2020, doing a little compare-contrast. Really compare, because it's the same deal. Ryan Saavedra over at the Daily Wire posted this. Why haven't you seen any stories from NPR about the New York Post Hunter Biden story? The NPR public editor responded to the question about where the Hunter Biden stories about the laptop. The New York Times managing editor, Terrence Samuels, we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories, and we don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. That was the attitude. And we're still finding out more about how this all went down, including with the FBI's election interference in 2020 by preparing the social media companies for the Hunter Biden laptop story so that they would censor it as soon as it came across. What the FBI did, and this New York Post actually has the details on this from a new congressional report. The FBI said, there's this Hunter Biden laptop story, and it's going to come out in the 11th hour. And there is Russian agents. There are Russian agents that are preparing a strikingly similar document dump to the story that's coming about the Hunter Biden laptops, the laptop from hell story that New York Post did. So when the New York Post story came out, they said, "Oh, there it is. The FBI told us this is, the Russian disinformation campaign again, so we should act accordingly." And you have the Facebook executive, Nick Clegg, their public affairs guy, basically saying, and they've got communications of him saying it, we want to play ball because we don't want to get on the wrong side of the incoming Biden-Harris administration. That's what was going on. And it's going on in different ways, but for a similar purpose 4 years later. So, going back to that ABC affiliate story out of Pennsylvania, I mean, there's no reason to trust the D.C. press corps or their outlets across the fruited plains. So you have to vet everything for yourself. You have to really look at this. And thankfully, there are some people like Community Notes on Twitter that are doing some good vetting of people like Nicholas Kristof who are spreading this bilge, the misinformation and disinformation that the censorious left is always warning us about. Speaking of that, just on that topic again, it's not going away, and it's not going away for the IRS whistleblowers, Ziegler and Shapley. They recently sat down with Catherine Herridge, their first sort of joint interview, not before a congressional committee. And it was interesting because they had the goods. And they also know from working with investigators or communicating with investigators from other agencies, including the FBI, they know who knew what and when.
There was no question in your mind, based on the universe of data, that the big guy was Joe Biden.
We corroborated that the big guy was Joe Biden, yes.
Did your supervisors accept that the big guy was Joe Biden?
There was no question ever that the big guy was referring to
I don't think
to Joe Biden.
So FBI, IRS, everyone understood that.
And that's why when we were doing the interviews, the prosecutors in Delaware specifically told us that they didn't want to ask about the big guy because they knew it was Joe Biden.
Did President Biden financially benefit from his son's business deals?
This whole thing at the end of the day was about enriching a family, enriching the Biden family through access to an administration. Through all these different financial transactions, you see various members of the Biden family, to include James Biden, receiving money through a lot of these deals that were set up. How do these foreign officials pay U.S. politicians? By paying their families.
The Democrats say there's no smoking gun evidence. Is there smoking gun evidence?
Yeah, I would say that there is a lot of various emails, documents that when put together, it shows this access.
Yeah, so the 51 spies who lied did so in furtherance of Joe Biden, which is what it always was. Once this became too big to ignore, they just made it about Hunter Biden. And remember, I mean, again, this is the, baby boy Hunter who struggled with addiction.
Smartest guy he knows.
Story of father's love and all that. They had to separate Joe Biden from Hunter Biden, and they were doing it even before he was elected. Just like they have to separate Kamala from Joe Biden. They're always one step ahead. And they're working with the agencies that have the ability to manipulate the institutions that can drive public opinion in furtherance of that step once the rest of the country gets there.
But I don't think you could separate Biden from Hunter Biden. If he's sending his son, who's severely addicted to crack and prostitutes and all of that, sends him to get millions of dollars from a foreign adversary, from Ukraine or from, I don't see how you could separate them, but that's what they do.
Well, yeah. Separate them in terms of the public's mind.
Right.
That's the game. You don't think those 51 spies who lied knew this was an influence peddling operation? Of course they did.
Yeah.
You don't think they know how this stuff works? Of course they do. So now we have to figure out a way to insulate the big guy from the repercussions of Hunter Biden's undisciplined, reckless conduct. And that's what they did. And if that means essentially defiling themselves, maybe they thought they would get away with it and they would never suffer any blowback and nobody would know or nobody would care and everybody would move on. Or they just don't care about half the country that Biden calls garbage. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Your local State Farm agent Anthony DeGrotto combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
$20 million. No, it's not the national debt. It's the buying spree that Fox Valley Coins is on from now until Thanksgiving. It's really the perfect storm. Gold and silver are at historic levels. Fox Valley Coins has a huge order to fill with one of their national clients. And September through Thanksgiving is always when coin dealers stock up for Christmas sales. They are especially looking for the old collector coins like silver dollars, all 1700s through early 1900s coins. All kinds of gold for broken jewelry to gold bars to old coins, U.S. and foreign. All kinds of silver, from sterling silverware to old coins and bars to Franklin Mint items. They can pay cash or check, and we make house calls on larger deals prior to Thanksgiving. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make free, no obligation offers. Make that 20,000,001 reasons to go to Fox Valley Coins now. They give free in-store offers on your items. AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We have more ballot integrity issues to discuss, unfortunately. Michigan, Colorado, Pennsylvania. We'll do that at 6:06.
But now let's head into the newsroom for news here at home and around the world. And it's going to get cold out there, Mike, but when? Because it's pretty warm now.
Later today, it will get chilly, and the forecast includes a 38-degree temp for the overnight. Mayor Johnson proposing a 2025 budget with a $300 million property tax hike. AM 560's Jim Talamonte will have more on Budget Day in just a moment. Aldermen also call for a school board president to resign over pro-Hamas comments. 3 family members killed in a Zion house fire. The U.S. Attorney will operate a hotline on Election Day. Bulls storm back to beat the Magic. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Cheering a championship. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News in Los Angeles, celebrating the World Series.
LA, baby! I'm very happy that Dodgers won.
We come back. The Dodgers rallied back from down 5-0 in Game 5 to beat the Yankees 7-6 in New York. Freddie Freeman named the World Series MVP on Fox, tying a record with 12 runs batted in.
Heck of a job by everyone in this series. I'm glad I was able to get hot at the right time.
There will be a parade in L.A. tomorrow, unlike when the Dodgers won in the 2020 COVID-shortened season. But last night, during the celebration, some fans got destructive, setting a bus on fire and breaking into stores and looting. Now to the election, just 5 days away.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
Former President Trump wore a reflective vest at his rally in Green Bay, Wisconsin, after pulling up in a garbage truck, escalating the controversy over what President Biden said as he campaigns against the vice president. Also rallied in North Carolina.
Kamala Harris cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in the history of our country.
Now, Vice President Harris also had her rally in Wisconsin last night and also went to North Carolina and Pennsylvania.
We have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other.
Harris distanced herself from President Biden, calling Trump supporters garbage, saying she'd be president for all Americans. But the White House insists the president was only talking about one Trump supporter, the comedian who caused controversy at Sunday's New York City rally, calling Puerto Rico garbage. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says
he does not view Trump supporters or anybody who supports Trump as garbage.
America's listening to Fox News.
6:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Brandon Johnson proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike to fill a nearly $1 billion budget gap.
As a homeowner, this is not something that we take lightly. Here's what we're left with. Do we lay people off and cut services? Or do we make sure that our neighbors have jobs?
The $17 billion spending plan balances the budget without layoffs, according to the Johnson administration, but is already featuring opposition from several other aldermen, including a supporter of Johnson's, Alderman Byron Sigjo Lopez. Also this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson's pick to head the Chicago Board of Education is facing calls to resign over social media posts about the war between Israel and Hamas.
Reverend Johnson has been a strong faith leader throughout the state of Illinois and has expressed sorrow and is seeking atonement for the words that he has shared and he has expressed.
Last night at a rally in the Rogers Park neighborhood, Chaya Carlson says it's not safe for her son in Chicago's public schools.
My son, every day since October 7th has experienced anti-Semitism in the school.
Meantime, Governor Pritzker is questioning the mayor's vetting process for school board president.
Feels like Facebook posts are pretty easy to find. And so, we need to, you do have to ask a question, who vetted him?
The governor said vetting is vitally important and doesn't seem to have happened. A longtime aide to former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan revealing details about his control of the State House.
Former Madigan staffer Will Cousineau referred to Madigan as the ultimate decision maker 3 times during his testimony. Prosecutors asked Cousineau about legislative redistricting and campaign assignments. In a recording prosecutors introduced from October of 2018, Reyes Curson consulting firm partner Victor Reyes told co-defendant Michael McLean about money he had for Madigan.
Hey, I was just calling. I have about 90,000 of those checks. Should I drop them off to the ward office, the downtown office, or to Mary? This is for the speaker's event.
McLean told Reyes to drop the first batch off at Madigan's law office.
And then I also have those directed contributions. Those I'm going to drop off to Mary. Right, exactly.
In Chicago, I'm Jim Talamonte.
Police and school officials investigating a racial slur found on a Naperville Central High School student's athletic locker earlier this month. The N-word was discovered after an October 18 sophomore football game. Police have yet to identify a suspect. Bulls beat the Magic 102-99. Blackhawks visit San Jose. And the Bears dealing with a number of injuries, including key defender Montez Sweat. Many missed practice yesterday. The news, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Breakthrough Ideas, Woodland Windows and Doors, and by Quick Delivery Service.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation welcomed U.S. Army Specialist Brent Menard into a new mortgage-free smart home in Florida. Now, while on a road clearance mission in Afghanistan, Brent's vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device. Brent became a T4 paraplegic. Tunnel to Towers built him a specially adapted smart home that allows severely injured heroes like Brett to live more independently. We hope you'll donate $11 a month so this great work can continue. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It's really quite extraordinary, and I'm 68 years old, and I've always been very, very active. My weight is a very good weight. I take care of my home all by myself. I have an acre of land. I'm so sold on this product, I can't tell you.
We love the Balance of Nature. Has been amazing. I keep seeing the ad for it, and I'm like, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to have more fiber. I don't know. We just feel better.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
6:08, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update is service of almostfreeteeth.com. Northwest side, an accident with injuries, Oakley and Fullerton. The South Shore line coming in from Northwest Indiana has delays right at the South Bend Airport this morning, east and westbound. Factor that in. Delays as you travel on the Reagan disabled vehicle, right shoulder, along I-88 westbound near Route 53. Then an accident on I-88 westbound with a left lane block just east of County Line Road. What if you could save an average of 90% for dental implants and get 100% of your smile back with a Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO, or FEP? It's possible. Check if you qualify, almostfreeteeth.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Clouds and a couple of morning showers today. Wind advisory for the afternoon. Those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. The high today 67. Temperatures falling into the 50s throughout the day. Breezy this evening. Partly cloudy tonight. Cold, low 38. Sunny, cooler tomorrow. The high 53. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
66 at O'Hare. Rain and 66 at Midway. 63 in Joliet. Your next news update, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. This story out of Michigan is a nice encapsulation of the silliness, the unseriousness of the way we conduct elections in this country in so many states that have no interest in preventing voter fraud. No. The 19-year-old University of Michigan student who's a Chinese national registered on Sunday, signed a document identifying himself as U.S. citizen, and voted. except he's not a U.S. citizen, so he voted illegally. I mean, to some extent, to his credit, the only way the Michigan authorities found out that he voted illegally is because he turned himself in.
Good. He was testing the system because Walz and Harris, remember, they had their big rally in Ann Arbor on Sunday. So they were signing people up to vote. That's how they work college campuses. Not them, but their people were. And look at that. Lo and behold, voter fraud.
He wasn't testing the system on purpose. I mean, I think the better characterization is that he was a confused student who tried to take his vote back, and that's how they realized that he had voted illegally.
How many more people have they signed up that are voting illegally?
The issue then is that the remedy is there is no remedy. I mean, the remedy is that he is facing charges, but Michigan officials are saying his vote is going to count, even though it was cast illegally.
Oh, God, no.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636. Oh, no. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line and text line. It's just too easy to register to vote and to vote in this country. That's my view. I mean, this registering on Sunday. Registration deadlines are way too close to the election, not to mention in-person or day of voter registration, in-person voter registration. It's absurd.
This whole election month thing is driving me nuts.
Early voting is too long as
Way
well.
too long.
I agree with that. All of those things. I mean, but the idea that this voters, Michigan students' vote is going to count.
That pisses me off.
So who is it okay to take a vote away from? What American citizen is it okay to take away from, to take their vote away from in Michigan? Because that's what you're doing when you count his vote. I hope people think about this and realize this. Would it be okay if his vote was instead of your vote? Governor Whitmer, Secretary of State Benson.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You could text us on the same line. Real quick, I mean, I know we're going to stay in Michigan, but Aunt Linda, my aunt, delegate to Trump back in 2016, she's been working nonstop. They had a collection of 98,000 people who have moved out of Nevada, died, or no longer vote, and the Supreme Court threw out their collection of all that. She's been spending years working on that.
Well, the good news, we were talking about this at the end of the show yesterday. The good news out of Virginia right after our show yesterday was that the Supreme Court overturned the lower court's stay on removing admitted non-citizens from the voter rolls, which Governor Youngkin did in Virginia. And so now those identified admitted non-citizens will not be on the voter rolls and thus not be able to vote. But I mean, this is why you need lead time before an election. So I'm not saying, go have robust voter registration efforts and everybody who wants to vote and all those things. I'm not talking about any new hurdles. I'm just talking about the prevention of fraud. So you give more space between Election Day and the deadlines to, for example, register to vote, so that you have more opportunity to investigate new registrations and more opportunity to identify any fraudulent registrations. Just as we're finding out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But this is the 11th hour that they're doing this, and it may be happening in other counties in Pennsylvania too. But this is the 11th hour they're doing this. This all has to be backed up, so there are opportunities for first of all, so there's complete transparency, and there are opportunities for interested parties to investigate. I mean, that's part of the job of campaigns. It's certainly part of the job of election officials. But when you compress the timeline or you eliminate it altogether with things like in-person voting, with things like, speaking of this, being a Michigan student, what we talked about yesterday as well, the fact that you can present a student ID in North Carolina and Wisconsin to vote. Well, foreign students at universities get student IDs. So then what's the check? It's a problem. It's a big problem. It's just obscene, really. And I guess just to simplify, you give me there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. It's not systemic voter fraud. That's fine. So which reporter who repeats those canned lines would raise their hand and say, it's okay if that Chinese national takes my vote away? And again, I'm not beating up the kid too much because it sounds like he made a mistake and he regretted it and he tried to correct it. So I'm just using this as an example because this sort of encapsulates it. Forget the data and forget the machinations, just this story. How do you square this story that a person who voted illegally, admittedly, under charges, his vote's going to count anyway? Because there's no way to undo the vote once it's been sent through the vaunted tabulator.
There's always a way. They just choose not to do it. But I'm sure he was fearful that he was going to be sent back to China. And there's a lot of foreign nationals at these schools. I mean, from Illinois to Georgia Tech, it's a good amount.
Jamie and Delavan.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. So in Wisconsin, my father-in-law received a mail-in ballot. However, he did not request one. Additionally, the mail-in ballot was not even addressed to him. It was addressed to the resident at his address, which is a little bit concerning. I read yesterday that 90% of Wisconsin's mail-in ballots have been received. So what happens to all these mail-in ballots that were not actually turned in? I have a hard time saying that 10% are just left out there.
Right. Yeah. So like your father's mail-in ballot gets sent to somebody else, and then now you've got maybe your father goes to vote, and then somebody else has a mail-in ballot, and they put it in one of the drop boxes, and now you've got voter fraud.
Correct. And we tried to tell him, like, hey, try to keep that, because if you go to vote and they try to tell you that you've already voted, you have the mail-in ballot. But
Right.
He said that he had already thrown it away. So
Yeah.
just disheartening to see.
Thanks for the call, Jamie. Frank in Tinley Park.
I remember after Saddam was kicked out, they had their first election ever, and they let everybody vote, and you dipped your finger in an ink bottle.
Yeah.
And that lasted for a couple of days.
Yeah. No, I remember the purple thumbs. I remember. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Frank.
Should we bring purple thumbs here?
But perhaps would have more integrity than some of these state election operations, and in part because, I mean, let's remember who's in charge. Let's go into our Wayback Machine. Remember what we learned at the beginning of the year when the effort was afoot to remove Trump from the ballots in Maine and Colorado? Again, the Supreme Court intervened to restore the rule of law and let Maine and Colorado know that they are also under the laws of the United States of America and the Constitution of the United States of America, which was a surprise to them, apparently. But remember what we learned about these secretaries of state? People like Jocelyn Benson, who is the Secretary of State of Michigan. People like Jenna Griswold, who's the Secretary of State of Colorado. People like Sheena Bellows, who's the Secretary of State of Maine. Well, let's refresh our recollection, shall we? Because this was all of them and others on a Zoom call in 2021, foreshadowing what they would attempt to do earlier this year with removing Trump from the ballot, and foreshadowing the problems that they're having in their respective states, particularly Griswold in Colorado and Benson in Michigan at present. Here's the Zoom call led by Sheena Bellows, the sainted Sheena Bellows, because she led the fight to get Trump removed from state ballots, starting with her state of Maine.
Well, what Secretary Griswold just said and named is something that was unimaginable 2 years ago or 10 years ago, and that is election sabotage. It is a crystal clear example of what's happening all across the country. So we need to organize to make sure we have better leaders in positions of power to fight back against that. Secretary Benson talked about voter suppression. And that's something that when we started our careers at the ACLU and Southern Poverty Law Center,
there you go,
it's fighting back about systematic, structural voter oppression, targeting specifically Black and brown voters. It's rooted in white supremacy. That is something we have to continue to do work on. And Secretary Merrill talked about the For the People Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We must have federal standards all across the country. And then finally, just to echo my colleagues, this is rooted in a deliberate and organized campaign to discourage people from participating in our democracy. It is an attack on our very democracy itself, because when everyone participates, everything that we care about, social justice, climate justice, economic justice, we win. Those on the other side are trying to discourage people from participating. That's what this really is about. We have to fight back to protect our democracy, to protect everything.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, really.
What
climate
heroes,
climate justice. They're focused on climate justice, not the enforcement of the law when it comes to the administration of elections in their state.
I started my career at the ACLU.
Of course, when we were all back at the ACLU and the Southern Poverty Law Center. Oh yeah, those were the days.
We were tearing it up back then, ladies.
These are people that, well, number one, they're not particularly competent as they continue to demonstrate cycle after cycle, and number two, they don't particularly care about their competence, because the point of their ascending to these positions is to facilitate victory for their fellow travelers. It's not to make sure that the elections are administered competently and fairly. It's they are apparatchiks. They are in the fight. You just heard them. These are the people that tried to illegally get Trump off the ballot in their respective states. And this was Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold's reaction after the SCOTUS decision that put Trump back on the ballot in Colorado and Maine.
My larger reaction is disappointment. I do believe that states should be able, under our Constitution, to bar oath-breaking insurrectionists. And ultimately, this decision leaves open the door for Congress to act, to pass authorizing legislation. But we know that Congress is a nearly non-functioning body. So ultimately, it will be up to the American voters to save our democracy in November.
Oh, my God.
The oath-breaking insurrectionists. And that was a determination that Sheena Bellows made, Secretary of State of Maine, that Jenna Griswold made, Secretary of State of Colorado. They made the determination of what constitutes a 14th Amendment violation of the so-called insurrection clause that they keep.
He wasn't charged with an insurrection.
That they keep invoking and keep describing both Trump and Trump supporters. So that's Jenna Griswold and Sheena Bellows and all the gals back then.
And did Soros back all of those Secretary of States? We got a text message here. Dan and Amy, didn't Soros's people have an effort several years ago to get their leftist lunatics in Secretary of State positions across the country?
Well, Jenna Griswold is in the center of another controversy right now.
Oh, everyone listen up.
Her office put out spreadsheets that included passwords to access the voting systems in Colorado. So, I mean, Colorado's not in play. Colorado's become a pretty blue state. It's not in play, but that's not really the point. The point is who these people are and what they do from their positions of power. This was really interesting, actually. She, I think probably regretting it, she gave an interview to Kyle Clark, who's a news guy on the 9 News, which is the NBC affiliate in Denver. He does a program called Next.
KUSA.
And he didn't just recount this incident that I just described. There's been others with Jenna Griswold. Oh. To my point about acting in furtherance of, using your position to act in furtherance of advancing your fellow travelers' interests politically. In other words, they're there to help Democrat socialists win.
This is not the first time that your office has made mistakes
that have damaged voters' confidence in our elections. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens inviting them to register to vote. They, of course, are not eligible to register to vote. That same year, your office used Colorado's ballot tracking system to send messages to specific Coloradans encouraging them to vote when, in fact, they had already voted, causing confusion that had to be cleaned up by the county clerks. And now this leak of the voting system passwords. Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not, Kyle.
Absolutely not.
I'm not giving up power.
Absolutely
No.
not. We're fixing these problems. We all make mistakes and so on and so forth. Of course. Meanwhile, by the way, back in Michigan, which is in play, Jocelyn Benson, who was also on that Zoom call in 2021, one of the gals focused on climate justice and social justice and everything that they want.
She went to Harvard, yes.
Jocelyn Benson having some problems with the Dominion voting machines.
See, this is why I don't want to vote early on a machine, but okay.
Dominion, that name rings a bell.
Wow,
Dominion. Where have I heard that name before?
The D word.
Dominion, they've, for certain machines, polling locations, polling booths, I guess that there's a straight ticket option, and if you punch the straight ticket option, then you get an error message if you then vote for candidates of different parties.
Right.
So it's creating some confusion and complications there, and Jocelyn Benson is frustrated, like all of us are.
Issues with the programming of the VATS with specifically
Yes.
from Dominion.
Mhm.
Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release with the
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them. And the voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this during the testing period and as early voting began. So we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot.
Do you think it's a bigger issue in Michigan because we do allow voters to cross over in ways that a lot of other states don't?
Because we have straight party, it's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So
it's so fun.
We're surprised.
Yeah,
Look at me.
very upset. I'll tell you, she better be careful. She came very close to a Dominion libel suit that they're a defamation suit.
The thing about her, though, she always seems so happy. Like if there's a mistake or there could be voter fraud or problems with the Dominion machine, she's just so happy to be on TV. And I don't know. I can't stand her.
Maybe
seen her everywhere. She's even on Fox News, and she's happy. Just we're not going to have the election results by Tuesday, so we'll see you Wednesday.
Okay, it's not the only issue in Michigan. Rasmussen reports Michigan one voter ID with 29 separate votes already. Yeah, nothing wrong there. Laura Trump responded to that. Our election integrity team received reports of thousands of duplicate ballots in Michigan. We immediately investigated and have confirmed that it was a glitch in the system. Oh, there's another one of those glitches. These duplicates were not and will not be counted. We're on it and protecting the vote. So good for Laura Trump and the RNC and their teams being on it. This is why it's important to have ballot integrity operations at the party and the campaign level. But so it's not just this sort of technical straight party versus voting for individual candidate nationwide problem with Dominion machines. There's this other technical glitch that Jocelyn Benson hasn't been confronted to address as well. In Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is an important swings county in Pennsylvania, again, kudos to the Trump team for being on it. When the video started circulating that they stopped early voting at like 2:30 in the afternoon, they here's the end of the line if you're not in line. So they went to court, and now they've got early voting extended by 3 days in Bucks County. So, I mean, this is why you have to be vigilant and on top of it, because, frankly, these legal regimes in some of these states and the people in charge of enforcing them just cannot be trusted. Mike and Hammond, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking my call. My question was kind of for you. You seem to be more of the legal person. I hate to bring it up, but what's keeping us from we need to go to a federal system of voting for every state just for the federal elections. This is crazy because every state, you're going to have half the states that are going to be skirting laws and everybody's going to be voting. So I know it's opening Pandora's box, but we got to go to some kind of a federal election system, don't we, for federal elections?
Thanks for the call, Mike. I think there's some federal action that needs to be taken. I do. And you can have states fill in the blanks. But things like, for federal offices, the election day will be on this date, or you're limited to early voting of this much time. Voter registration cutoffs for federal elections will be, limited to this many days before the election. Things like this. There's a lot of discussion about that. It can be done constitutionally through federal legislation, so Congress would have to act. And so we'll see if we're in a position to have Congress act after next Tuesday, won't we? All right, coming up at 6:36, we'll turn our attention to what's happening locally with BLM Brandon's explanation for the campaign promise he was compelled to break because of Richard Nixon.
But now
6:36.
But first, let's stop by that newsroom. Once again, here's Mike Scott.
6:32. Kamala Harris promising middle-class tax cuts on the campaign trail in Wisconsin. More from Fox's Gernal Scott on the campaign trail today.
Vice President Harris is in a pair of battlegrounds today, Arizona and Nevada. First stop, Phoenix, to be followed later with an event in Las Vegas. Entertainer Jennifer Lopez will join Harris in Vegas just days after the disparaging of Puerto Ricans at last Sunday's New York City Trump rally. Lopez is a New York native, but her parents were born in Puerto Rico. Former President Trump will briefly veer from the battlegrounds for a midday rally in Albuquerque, New Mexico. From there, he will hold a second event in Henderson, Nevada, not far from Las Vegas, where the vice president will be. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Donald Trump riding in a garbage truck, capitalizing off Joe Biden's remarks, implying that Trump supporters were garbage.
This Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough. You can't take it anymore. You're the worst vice president. You're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
This morning, several members of a Minnesota gang are charged in a string of murders in a federal crackdown.
11 people who prosecutors say are members of a Minneapolis street gang face murder, conspiracy, and drug trafficking charges, some of them for their roles in 7 shootings that resulted in the deaths of 5 people. The reputed members of the Lowe's gang that federal prosecutors say terrorized North Minneapolis for 2 decades also face gun possession charges. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Mayor Johnson proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike.
As a homeowner, this is not something that we take lightly. Here's what we're left with. Do we lay people off and cut services? Or do we make sure that our neighbors have jobs?
Also this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson's pick to head the Chicago Board of Education is facing calls to resign over social media postings about the war between Israel and Hamas. Governor Pritzker is questioning Mayor Johnson's vetting process for board president.
Feels like Facebook posts are pretty easy to find. And so, we need to, you do have to ask a question, who vetted him?
The family of a Cook County jail inmate who was beaten to death last year is suing the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Family member Mickey Fisher.
He should not have died in that manner so brutally. He didn't have a chance to run or fight. He didn't have a chance to defend himself. This is just reckless and negligent on behalf of Cook County.
A wrongful death lawsuit claims Johnny Hendricks III was attacked by a cellmate, Daquan Houston, in August of 2023. Bulls over the Magic, 102-99. Kobe White, 21. Blackhawks visit San Jose tonight. And for the second time in 5 years, the LA Dodgers are World Series champions in a Game 5 win over the Yankees 7-6. The news, a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. What if you could save an average of 90% for dental implants and get 100% of your smile back with a Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO, or FEP? It's possible. Check if you qualify. AlmostFreeTeeth.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is astonished by recent numbers.
Illegal immigration quadrupled, and half the country is really troubled by the fact that half the country doesn't seem to give a damn. It's a remarkable thing that I just said. Half of the country doesn't care. I don't get it.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Let's get real. Did you wake up this morning with joint pain? Does it hurt doing the most routine activities? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, QC Kinetics can get you there. Folks, it's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Learn about all of your options at QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics. Call 312-809-5955.
I love giving jewelry as a gift. Roland's Jewelers is the perfect place for that magical holiday gift. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. Roland's Jewelers is the absolute perfect place for the magical holiday gift for someone you love. Buying jewelry is about trust. Roland's is the jeweler I trust. I'm a customer, and I'm always amazed by their 5-star Google reviews, so many of them. But why not? They're the best. They're family-owned. Hey, getting engaged? Roland's has a large selection of mined and lab-grown diamonds at great prices. Choose from beautifully crafted engagement rings from designer Simon G. or Italian designer Roberto Coin, offering stunning diamond pendants and earrings. How about a Tag Heuer watch with cutting-edge technology? I love mine from Roland's. I continue to be impressed at how expertly trained their staff is. Visit Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville or RolandsJewelers.com. That's Roland's, Rollands, Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust, just like I do.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Family, country, community. Ed Soliday has spent his life in service to others. A graduate of Valparaiso High School, Ed Soliday went on to attend Indiana University and served our country in the Army, where he earned the Distinguished Flying Cross, 2 Bronze Stars, and a Purple Heart. After his military service, Ed Soliday built a successful career as a pilot and flight safety expert, leading crisis management at United Airlines on 9/11. Now, Ed Soliday is serving us at the Indiana State House, where he puts people ahead of partisanship. Representative Ed Soliday is a respected voice working to protect taxpayers, secure our energy grid, and attract better-paying jobs to the region. Ed is endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, the Indiana State Police Alliance, and the Indiana Professional Firefighters PAC. Representative Ed Soliday. Common sense leadership for Northwest Indiana. Vote Ed Soliday for state representative on or before Tuesday, November 5th.
Paid for by friends of Ed Soliday Committee.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
6:39, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is the service of LifeLock. Remember to update your software to fix security issues that identity thieves exploit to steal personal info. And for comprehensive identity theft protection, choose LifeLock. Start your 30-day free trial today. LifeLock.com/cybersafety. Kennedy at 1 hour, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Ike on the inbound side, 45 from 390 into the old post office. Stop and go on 57 in the Bishop Ford into the Ryan Merge. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Morning showers with dropping temperatures throughout the day. Our morning high was about 69. Will drop to 38 overnight. And temperatures and light rain continue to fall. 65 at O'Hare, 64 Midway, 63 in Aurora, and 60 in Lansing. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The mayor of the city of Chicago, BLM Brandon, yesterday's meeting, unveiled a budget proposal that includes a property tax hike of $300 million, eliminating 700 vacant positions. Half of those are at the Chicago Police Department, increasing the tax on alcohol.
Buy your booze outside of Chicago.
And raising weekend parking rates to the same level as weekdays. They also still have a little bit of COVID money left over, $145 million that hasn't been spent on migrants, I guess, to this point. So they're going to throw that in too. A woman who spoke during public comment named Suwani had a question for BLM Brandon.
Hello, Mayor Johnson. I have one thing I want to say to you. How you doing, Mayor Johnson? My name is Suwani, and I want to know, why did you give all the migrants all the fun when people out here suffering with their kids, homeless, like me? I am disabled. I cannot pay my rent. The landlord is trying to evict me out of my house with my kids. I've been calling down here telling the complaints about what's going on in my building. People been getting stabbed, everything in my building. I have 2 disabled kids, and I'm very struggling paying my rent. And I've been making complaints about the building. All I get, closed, case is closed, case is closed. I can't get no help to get out the building. I've been talking to Jeanette Taylor about what's going on in the building. I cannot get no help to get out that building with my kids. I'm living around drugs head, crack heads with my kids, and I have 2 disabled kids. I don't understand you. Then you gave the migrants all their funds, and they walk around up and down King Drive selling stuff when other people need stuff too. I don't understand you. You gave them that funds. They over there selling drugs and everything over there on King Drive. They over there stealing out the stores and everything. Stealing out stores that we need in the community. You sitting up and gave them migrants all that fun with people sleeping on the streets. You wrong for that. You need some help.
How's it going, Chicago? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line and text line.
Oh, Dan, he didn't want to do it.
No more disinvestments, no more selling off our public assets. I am saying no to those bad habits and yes to the future of this city.
And in the future of the city, see, he could have laid off 4,000 city employees or raise our property taxes, and he chose to raise our property.
Obviously, you always, when the question is government versus the people who finance it, I mean, you always go with government. There's no question about that.
So he lied about that campaign promise because he said over and over again, that's lazy.
Lied about it.
Lazy government to raise property taxes is lazy. But he also made a campaign promise, or before he actually ran, that he wanted to defund police, and he's doing that. So a freeze on 243 vacant jobs. 400 of those are Chicago cop jobs.
Yeah, I just said that.
I know, but I'm just
400. Well, so I don't know what those jobs are. I'd have to look at exactly what the jobs are. Because I'm not for larding up any department, including public safety departments. But if it's frontline officers, when the experts suggest that Chicago's down 1,500 cops from what it needs, that's a different story. But if it's more political appointees, administrative people,
Well, he needs 26 aldermen to approve. They start their budget discussions the day after the election. But part of the proposal is to shift $311 million in TIF funds, to the CT or CPS, but really to appease the CTU. Because coaches want, higher stipends. Teachers want more money for less students that they're teaching. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know how this goes. It's the same thing over and over again. It's just the cover story is a little bit different. Now it's if you don't support this, this thing that Richard Nixon has imposed on Brandon Johnson, forcing him to raise property taxes, then you're a Confederate slaveholder. I mean, that's the only difference really is the spin, but the policy making isn't that much different, is it?
I don't know. People aren't happy.
That is horrible.
He's going to push this through to ensure that we pay more.
That sucks.
Yeah.
How's that for an answer?
It sucks, and
It's
I'm gonna
an answer.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna take it like I always have.
Bend over and say, "Do it more." Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's what you say, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what?
Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I don't do budgets for cities and all that, but it seems to me that the major problem with Chicago, they gave away the farm to the teachers union and all the public sector unions. And so now it becomes, again, they got to maintain their lifestyle, but everybody else, you're going to have to take a cut so they can maintain their lifestyle.
100%. Well, that's, 100%.
Oh, yeah, and then here's one other thing, though. This is kind of like, I'll be devil's advocate supporting the teachers union. To teach a junior in high school to read at a third grade level and do math at a second grade level, that talent doesn't come cheap, so.
That's exactly right. Thanks for the call. I mean, look, I've looked at the scorecards. Teachers give themselves basically a 99% approval rating for the job that they do. So, I mean, if they're happy with the job they're doing, who am I as a non-educator to question our betters? These are our betters. I mean, I've been saying this for 25 years that Illinois, it's very simple, and it's been codified into the Constitution. You in Illinois exist as spare parts to be used as needed, however needed, by the government unions and their rank and file. That's it. That's the whole thing.
And we have to work harder and take on extra jobs to pay for what? They had $400 million
whatever it takes
to give illegals.
Yeah,
and then to pay teachers more and to help their pensions. They don't care about them. Because they don't care about you, because if you don't think like them, they'll cancel you.
Whatever.
But you can have a board president member who's pro-Hamas. That's okay. But my God, if you're a Republican, off with your head.
Yeah. Well, that's right. You're not part of the ruling class. You're not part of the government set. And if you're not part of the government set, then look out. Corey and Woodlawn.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, guys. Again, we've got mismanagement of taxpayers' funds. TIF is specifically for blighted communities to fix those communities, infrastructure to fix those community sites. But these guys are taking the money and putting it directly into their pension and into their paychecks. No one is holding these executives accountable. This is a problem. Thanks.
Well, isn't the TIF fund supposed to help small businesses and regentrification projects in your
That's exactly
ward?
what Corey just said, blighted areas. But the point is that the TIF thing has always been a slush fund.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, let's all grow up.
Well, just
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking let's just all grow up here. And because like this, as I often say, I can't indulge the performative outrage on our side any more than I can the other side. Like you don't know what's happening. Like you're surprised this is happening. The same thing that's been happening for generations. Like you didn't believe these people would do what they're doing when they ran for office.
Oh, I knew. I mean, come on.
And we elected them. And I'm not just talking about BLM Brandon. Go up the food chain to Jelly Belly in Springfield. Look around at your legislators, your state legislative representatives in the suburbs. David Lansing.
Good morning.
I don't know if you guys covered this in the past few days. It was like 3-4 days ago. Pepsi closed the plant at 55th Street. They will now have no plants within the Chicago city limits. But they do have one in Munster, Indiana. What does it tell the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois? And what are they doing to stem the tide of businesses leaving at this rate?
What are you talking about? Brandon Johnson was just over in England going to the Bears game and talking to businesses about coming over here.
One business is coming.
Can't keep the businesses here, but we're going to bring them over from London. Sure. Okay.
Probably give them tax incentives where that plant.
Thanks for the call, David.
The plant had been there for 60-plus years.
Uh-huh.
And one guy worked there for 43 years, and he came to work, and it's over. They gave him 2 months severance. Whip-dee frickin' do.
Tom and Oswego. Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning,
Tom.
Dan and Amy.
Yep, go ahead. That's us.
That's who you called.
Yeah. Dan, you have said this for years, that as much corruption as there is, the people in the city of Chicago will continue to vote for this. And the same thing has happened nationally. It doesn't matter what happens. People are still going to keep voting for the same people. And I'll tell you, I can't get up any earlier in the morning to go to work. I think we're all getting pretty tired out here.
Thanks, Tom. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I've said this before too, but I don't know what the other what is like a realistic approach other than this. You have to have people that articulate a different vision for how Chicago and Illinois should be governed. It's a simple thing to say. It's a very difficult thing to find, but you just don't have the angst that you hear from the black community right now, from black neighborhoods, black families in Chicago, about migrants and what they feel is the resources being diverted away from those in need to those who shouldn't even be in this city and in this country because they're here illegally. And there's no question there's a point there. So how do you capitalize on that? Well, you don't capitalize on it just by repeating the same old line about border security. You have to have like a comprehensive vision for what Chicago could and should be. And that means going right at the identitarian political culture. But nobody's willing to do that. People who don't like Brandon Johnson are still tethered to the identitarian way of thinking about Chicago and addressing the issues that afflict Chicago. And until that changes, until you challenge people to think differently about how we can do this thing of living together in safety and prosperity, nothing is going to change because everybody just falls back on their tribal nonsense. So there it is. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you own or run a business and you listen to AM 560, you might not realize that the conservative programming that you enjoy is supported by advertisers. Our loyal listeners love to do business with the advertisers they hear every day on AM 560. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some businesses who avoid advertising with us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our audience wants to support businesses that support what we do and think like we think. We would love to have you join the list of successful companies who are already reaching new, like-minded customers. Most AM 560 advertisers have been here for years for one simple reason: they get results. Join our efforts to make a difference in the lives of our listeners who are passionate about supporting our great family of AM 560 advertisers. To learn more, just visit 560theanswer.com/advertise. That's 560theanswer.com/advertise.
Hey, Dan, somebody texted in and wondered what your favorite Halloween costume was as a child. What was it?
You mean the favorite costume that I wore?
Yeah, a favorite costume that you wore as a kid.
Oh, I wasn't very creative. I would just go as a bomb or static cling or something like that. Yeah.
Staticling, that is so lazy.
I know.
That's the lazy man's thing.
Yeah, that's the Brandon Johnson version of Halloween costuming.
Okay. All right, well, this fall season, and when you're eating all that candy that some trick-or-treaters don't pick up or eating in between people who come to your door, may I remind you that you need fruits and vegetables in your diet, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 6 capsules a day provides your body, your heart, and mind with several servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You'll love it. Your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. And here's what you do. Order your bottles of fruits and veggies today, and you'll save 35% when you use coupon code Chicago. The number to call is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Again, use coupon code Chicago or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35%.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Seth Leibson for townhall.com. In these closing days of the 2024 election cycle, we have seen yet another exhibit of the dangerous, divisive, and demeaning rhetoric that is taking a toll on our body politic. This from President Biden.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Referring, of course, to Trump's supporters. They tell us all the time, we are deplorables, we are irredeemable, we are fascists, racists, white nationalists, Nazis, garbage. And somehow we are the breaker of norms. We are the threats to the Constitution. And Barack Obama wonders how this country became so divided. William Buckley once put it that the contempt for which our side is held can be summed up as quod licet Jovi, non licet bovi. What is good for the gods is not good for the swine or cattle, and we are the swine to them. They'll stoop to any rhetoric to marginalize those who won't comply. Don't miss the irony here. Nothing really is more fascist than that.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:07, the closing argument from Republican candidate for Cook County State's Attorney Bob Fioretti at 7:07.
And he might really have a chance this time. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Brandon Johnson proposes a 2025 City of Chicago budget with a property tax hike. Aldermen call for school board president to resign over pro-Hamas comments. 3 family members killed in a Zion house fire. Family of a Cook County jail inmate beaten to death files a lawsuit. Bulls storm back to beat the Magic. Blackhawks visit the Sharks. And the Dodgers win the series. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
The presidential campaign gets trashed.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Former President Trump got inside that in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then wore a reflective worker's vest on stage, telling supporters they're not garbage after President Biden's comments on Tuesday.
And we know it's what they believe because look how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage, frankly. They've treated you like garbage. You know what? The truth is they've treated our whole country like garbage.
Now, Vice President Harris also rallied in Wisconsin last night, saying in Madison,
"We know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge."
There were also dueling Trump-Harris rallies in North Carolina, and the vice president also went to Pennsylvania, where a new Fox News poll shows the race tied among likely voters, including third-party candidates. Harris is up by 2 points in Michigan. Trump leads by 2 in North Carolina, and both will campaign today in 2 other toss-up states, Arizona and Nevada. More than 58 million Americans have already voted early. Now back to President Biden, calling Trump supporters garbage on Tuesday. The White House insists he didn't mean that. Here's Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
I think it's really important that you have a president that cares about clarifying what they said.
The president maintains he was only referring to a Trump supporter. The comedian who caused controversy at Sunday's New York City rally, calling Puerto Rico garbage. Big celebrations in Los Angeles after the Dodgers won the World Series.
They locked in. Amazing game.
Oh, it was amazing.
Now, some of that celebrating got violent in L.A. A bus was set on fire. Some stores were broken into and looted after the Dodgers beat the Yankees in New York. There'll be a parade tomorrow. America's listening to Fox News.
64 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Brandon Johnson proposing a Chicago 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike.
As a homeowner, this is not something that we take lightly. Here's what we're left with. Do we lay people off and cut services? Or do we make sure that our neighbors have jobs?
The property tax increase already has received opposition from a number of city council members, including Johnson ally Alderman Byron Sigjo Lopez.
This is tough. It is. It is something that I grappled with for weeks and weeks.
Also this morning, Mayor Johnson's pick to head the Chicago Board of Education is facing calls to resign.
Reverend Johnson has been a strong faith leader throughout the state of Illinois and has expressed sorrow and is seeking atonement for the words that he has shared and has expressed.
More than 24 aldermen and women have signed a joint statement asking for the immediate resignation of Mitchell Ikana Johnson due to his anti-Semitic comments. Governor Pritzker questions Mayor Johnson's vetting process.
Feels like Facebook posts are pretty easy to find. And so, we need to, you do have to ask a question, who vetted him?
Drivers being cited for hitting a state trooper's car here in Chicago. Authorities say a Jeep ran into the back of a squad car Tuesday night. No troopers were hurt, but the driver of that Jeep was cited for a Scots law violation along with other charges. The Bulls overcome a 20-point deficit in a 102-99 win over Orlando. Kobe White 21 in the win. The Blackhawks take on San Jose tonight, and the Bears practice without a number of players who are injured, including defensive backs Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon. The news a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by attorney Stephen A. Leahy at Opum Tax Advocates and and by Valdecas Incorporated Windows and Doors.
On October 7th, 2023, terrorists attacked Israel, killing over 1,200 civilians and taking 250 hostages. This resurgence of anti-Semitism in our society is alarming. Today, Jewish people continue to be the target of violent and bigoted attacks. On November 9th, Chosen People Ministries, in partnership with Moody Bible Institute, present the Summit on Opposing Anti-Semitism in Chicago. This event will bring together leaders, scholars, and Jewish believers in Jesus to explore effective strategies for combating anti-Semitism. The summit features distinguished keynote speakers, panel discussions, and workshops designed to equip attendees with practical tools and insights. It is vital for the Christian community to stand against anti-Semitism. Join Chosen People Ministries at Moody Bible Institute on November 9th to stand against anti-Semitism and show solidarity with the Jewish people. Register today at moodyconferences.com. That's moodyconferences.com.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
61 years old. I'm doing my first bodybuilding show. I'm going to go straight to a national event. Well, I was a power lifter all my life, and I just lucky a year ago met Mr. Michigan and Mr. Olympia, and they asked me what I was doing, and next thing you know, I'm 4 weeks away from my first on-stage show. I've been taking the Balance of Nature for a long time. It's been incredible.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. And this look at travel times, the service of the Chicago Election Board. Inbound on the Kennedy, 1 hour, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stop and go traffic on the outbound Ike between Laramie and Des Plaines Avenue. Inbound Dan Ryan right now at a manageable 25, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Outbound Dan Ryan, accident on the outbound off-ramp to the Stevenson Expressway. Early voting in downtown Chicago is now open through Election Day, November 5th. Go to the Chicago Voting Super Site, 191 North Clark, or the board offices, 69 West Washington. Go to chicagoelections.gov for more information. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Clouds and a couple of morning showers today. Wind advisory for the afternoon. Those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. The high today 67. Temperatures falling into the 50s throughout the day. Breezy this evening. Partly cloudy tonight. Cold, low 38. Sunny, cooler tomorrow. The high 53. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
64 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the Cook County State's Attorney's race, the race to replace Kim Foxx. On the one side, the Democrat, you have that retired judge, Eileen O'Malley, Burke, Cullerton, Madigan, whatever.
Hennessy.
Yeah, whatever her. Yeah, she's got a lot of Irish surnames. I know that, and that appears to be her main qualification. And on the other side, you have former Chicago alderman and former county board, I should say, former Chicago mayoral candidate as well, Bob Fioretti, who joins us now. Bob, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good to be here this morning. Thank you.
So, the closing argument, give it to us.
Well, I'm going to stand for our victims. I'm going to stand and make sure that we enforce the law as written and not decide what should be enforced and what shouldn't be. I'm going to make sure we work with law enforcement and not against them. I'm going to go after the corrupt politicians that have been infecting our system from day one, and especially using the property tax system to their advantage to root out that kind of corruption that we see. I'm going to tell you, I have an opponent that's nowhere to be found. And as you started off saying all those Irish names, why is she nowhere to be found? Because she prosecuted an 11-year-old on a coerced confession that was wrong from beginning to end, that she gave $43,000 to the Burke, Madigan, Preckwinkle trio for an unopposed appellate court decision, that she won't disclose what she does or will do after she takes office. I mean, why does she want to hide from the public? Why deny voters to hear your proposals? What is she raising all this money for? She lacks the ethics and qualifications to take this job over. Her failure to debate me shows that, because I'll question her on specifics of why she is even running and who's putting her up.
Why didn't you guys? Yeah, nobody wanted to have a debate. ABC7 or TTW, nobody had a debate for you guys.
She sort of went, well, we sort of asked her, but we've got no response. Well, we asked her a couple of times. We sent her letters. Some faith-based groups and community groups asked her to debate. She ignored them. It was typical out of what's happening and what we see from the Democrats on how they approach this whole either a debate or forum. I'll tell you, I did appear at one forum where the other two candidates, both her and Clayton Harris, were in the western suburbs, and I know after that she would not want to debate me because I called them both out on the carpet on their proposals and what they wanted to do about really essentially saying that the Safety Act is one of the best things that we've ever seen to the criminal justice system, and it's safety for all of our criminal defendants, but it sure is not safe for the public in the state of Illinois. It's a complete failure in terms of what our legislature did to the public of this county and of this state.
So Burke supports the Safety Act?
Yes, she does.
So that information that Iris Martinez put out, the study that her office did, that drew the ire of Judge Evans and Tony Preckwinkle and whoever else, how impactful do you think that is on the race, just in terms of people's understanding of what's actually happening under this law?
Well, we brought that issue up from the beginning. Once Iris issued that letter, I mean, nobody is showing up for court appearances after their first court appearance, and that's why we see them back out committing more and more crimes. And if they're going to debate, when I say Evans, Preckwinkle, the statistics, why did we, the taxpayers, spend $40 million on case management in the recorder's office to account for who and when they show up or don't show up? The numbers are staggering of people that are no longer showing up, and they just issue a postcard and say, well, come on in for your next court appearance, and if they even receive a postcard in the mail. It's unbelievable on how everybody plays with statistics. We've seen it in the Chicago Police Department going back even in the years when I was an alderman. We called out the superintendent often on how they were jacking up or jacking down cases that were out there, and now we're seeing it here under Evans' way that he tries to come up with some system to justify this catch and release system that we see.
What do we know about Burke's career as a judge? Is there a case or two that you're aware of that would inform our understanding of her as a potential state's attorney?
Well, that's pretty interesting because we've been looking at many of the few cases that she's ever supposedly authored. And there, a lot of them are more on the civil side, and her numbers are down that she ever was the prime author of a decision. So it's questionable on what she did there. She claims to have been a defense attorney. What cases did she ever do? She went into the appeals division for the state's attorney's office, and really what cases did she handle there that were noteworthy? We don't see anything. Most of them were just average run-of-the-mill. We cut and paste. So she has, her qualifications are solely lacking. Even the Tribune, which did not endorse me, why? Because I offered specific proposals, said I was more qualified than Eileen O'Neill Burke, and yet they went on and endorsed her. And I did give specific proposals, even though they probably did not like them, that I was going to cooperate with ICE, that I was going to come up with new programs on how we deal with the drugs, guns, and human trafficking that come into this city through the dark web. And all of these ideas they just did not like, because no matter what we hear about how they feel about the school board, they are still another cozy industry with the wrongful incarceration people, and they keep writing those type of stories. Well, times are going to change on November 5th when I'm elected. I'm hearing it wherever I go. People are saying, "Are you a Republican?" They all whisper, and I say yes, and they say, "Good, I'm voting for you."
Well, I just want to talk more about ICE, because I know we are a sanctuary state, county, city. How would that work since we are a sanctuary county?
Well, we have to cooperate with the federal government. Federal government supersedes state law unless it violates the Constitution, and we've looked at it and we don't see it. I've talked to other constitutional experts that say we have the right to, those that are in authority should, and under the Constitution, cooperate with the federal law and not some state law or city ordinance that says, oh, by the way, we're a sanctuary city.
The politics of this, it's been interesting. So on the one hand, you're offering the positions you just offered on cooperating with ICE, on the Safety Act, on prosecuting repeat violent offenders. And yet you also enjoy the endorsement of one Jesse Jackson Sr. How did that happen?
I've known Reverend Jackson for quite a while. There are issues that we do stand on making sure that kids get a good education across the board, that parents should be involved in their kids' education. I've been a strong proponent of making sure that our schools get necessary resources to have all of our kids, no matter what zip code they live in or what area of this city they live in, to have a good education, because I see that as key to everyone's development. And when I was the alderman, I brought 8,000 jobs into my ward. I've been endorsed. He used one word, integrity, that have been in the community. Same words that Congressman Bost from downstate did, and Congressman Darren LaHood used both of those words in their own statements, that I have the integrity to lead this office and the ethics to lead this office.
And but that doesn't represent some other dynamic going on. I mean, there has to be some other dynamic in terms of Jackson coming to your side. There's something else there.
They're fed up with crime. They see it. They see what's happening in their neighborhoods. They know that crime is out of control. They know that kids aren't getting a good education or the trades. They don't have any, maybe not everybody is destined to go to college. But you know what? I've seen it. Kids want to use their hands.
Yeah, but why? But
it's just a repeat of, not crime, it's the repeat offenders that keep doing this.
Yeah. But the politics of this, why is Jesse Jackson and some others supporting you? Why aren't they going with where the power structure is?
They're fed up. Like I said, all I can say is they're fed up with crime in their neighborhoods, lack of educational opportunities, lack of jobs. They're seeing what high taxes can do, especially in the southern suburbs that have now gone up as high as 120%. I mean, people are fed up all across the board. And a lot of it is because of this criminal cabal that we see from the county, city, and state leaders.
Well, did he contact you, or did you contact him?
It was probably through one of his individuals said, Reverend, in fact, it was a brief conversation on the street. Reverend Jackson really likes you, and why don't you stop by one of the Saturday push meetings and just have a conversation with him? And I did.
What about the Republican Party? How are they? To the
if you can find it for me, I'll tell you what they think.
Okay, very good. Well, there's your answer.
And I'm going to tell you, we're filing a lawsuit today challenging what's happening with the Chicago Board of Elections and on separate counts on what they are doing in terms of mail-in ballots. And we found some other irregularities and violations of law of what the county board is doing election. They're two separate entities here in Cook County, and we're going to have a press conference at 1:00 today talking about this. We've got a draft complaint ready with many of the candidates because they too are fed up, and we see what's happening, and we're calling into question on is this mere incompetence or is this corruption, and where is Kim Foxx? We used to have 400 state's attorneys out on the street on election day. We don't have anybody anymore, and so what the heck is happening out here?
Well, what's the infraction? What's the allegation?
One, it's you have to really on the mail-in ballots. You have to disclose which party you're with, and this is a general election. And on the county ones, they are not even processing the requests for mail-in ballots. And unless if you're out of state, say you're in South Carolina right now and you need your mail-in ballot, you have to call in. Oh, and then they're going to process it, and then they're going to put it in the mail tomorrow. And then guess what? You have to overnight it back to the Board of Elections once you receive it. Well, there's no guarantee on anything. This is beyond the scope of mere incompetence. And who have they targeted? If we have some close state rep or state senate races here in the county, we want to get to the bottom of what's happening with these ballots. And who did they target, and why did they target?
We were talking about your race a little bit the other day, and it's just my feeling from observations that there just isn't the sort of revolt that is happening in Chicago and Cook County that would be required for something seismic to occur, like you to win. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I think you are, because it's the old used term silent majority. People are fed up. And granted, a lot of them just vote the Democratic line and they go straight down, but people know that they should punch 55 here in this instance and vote for change, and I am the change agent here. and I'm going to stand up and make sure we enforce the law as written. People are sick and tired of the carjackings. And let's just think, and we all know carjackings are up. And there's thousands that have been of carjackings. What was it? The beginning of this year, 2,700 for the first 4 months, something like that. And each carjacking represents multiple crimes thereafter. It's not just a carjacking. How many robberies on the street did they commit? How many gas stations did they commit? Let's not forget, my opponent especially was one who said, it was wrong to paint her as tough on crime. On the day she announced her nomination, that she won the primary of the Democrats by a few, and we had 44,000 Republicans jump ship to vote for her because they thought she was tough on crime, and it turns out she's just a weak-kneed functionary of the Democratic Party, and that's all she is going to be during her 4 years in office if she's elected, and I think she won't be.
I got some people who sent me some images from the landscape there in Cook County, and some Fioretti Harris Walls signs out there. Is your campaign behind the joint Fioretti Kamala signs?
I have seen the same one that has been thrown around all over. That somebody and it's, if they look at who paid for it, it's somebody who I know who does back me, who's also a Democrat. She was at the DNC, and Mother Wade, who is very influential on a number of boards and owns a couple of restaurants here. She's in healthcare, and she put them out, and I heard it afterwards, and I've seen it, and so be it.
Yeah. Okay.
My campaign is going to be Democrat, Fioretti Democrats, Independents, and Republicans who want change and are sick and tired of the crime in our streets.
No, I think that's a fair answer. I mean, the Jesse Jackson Sr. thing, obviously, I'm not a huge fan, but the point is that you bring people in for whatever their reasons are, but you're not doing it to cater to them. I think that's the question that people have, and that's your answer is a fine one. Bob Fioretti, he served 2 terms as Second Ward Alderman in Chicago. He was, of course, a candidate for mayor as well. Now he is the Republican nominee for Cook County State's Attorney. He is on the ballot in Cook County on Tuesday. Bob Fioretti, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Alderman. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
$20 million. No, it's not the national debt. It's the buying spree that Fox Valley Coins is on from now until Thanksgiving. It's really the perfect storm. Gold and silver are at historic levels. Fox Valley Coins has a huge order to fill with one of their national clients. And September through Thanksgiving is always when coin dealers stock up for Christmas sales. They are especially looking for the old collector coins like silver dollars, all 1700s through early 1900s coins. All kinds of gold, from broken jewelry to gold bars to old coins, U.S. and foreign. All kinds of silver, from sterling silverware to old coins and bars to Franklin Mint items. They can pay cash or check, and we make house calls on larger deals prior to Thanksgiving. Fox Valley Coins, 1 light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make free, no obligation offers. Make that 20,000,001 reasons to go to Fox Valley Coins now. They give free in-store offers on your items.
Few understand the impact this election may have on their retirement savings. Our entire economy could face a monumental shift that could destroy a huge amount of value many Americans have stored in their 401ks or IRAs. In times like these, the most trusted store of wealth in human history stands out: physical gold and silver. Many Americans have looked to True Gold Republic for help. They specialize in helping those with a 401k, IRA, or other retirement accounts convert their stocks and bonds into physical gold and silver to protect protect their hard-earned savings. True Gold is offering listeners a free copy of their Election Gold Protection Kit today. To claim yours, call 800-300-GOLD. This information is free and might very well save your comfortable retirement. By acting before the election, you can still make a tax and penalty-free conversion with the help of True Gold's award-winning team. Call 800-300-GOLD. That's 800-300-GOLD. True Gold Republic is not a financial advisor. Consult with your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-300-4653.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a doctor myself. I've used it and I've turned a lot of my patients onto it as well. It's a good product.
You know, Balance of Nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural, I like. And so it made a lot of sense.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience, so I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan, I am watching this video of President Biden's Halloween party last night. What is he doing? He's eating children. He's sucking their toes. He's biting their legs.
Yeah. I hope Hansel and Gretel weren't there.
Where's Jill to get him off the children? Hey, all right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
7:37, we'll check in on Wisconsin after Trump's big rally in Green Bay yesterday with Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, 7:37.
And later, the most insulting campaign ad ever. We'll explain, but now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
64 degrees, light rain showers, and survivors of the worst natural disaster to hit Spain this century are waking up again this morning to scenes of devastation after villages were wiped out by flash flooding. So far, that has claimed 95 lives. Rocket fire from Lebanon killed 5 in northern Israel on Thursday. And the deadliest such attack since Israel fought back against Hezbollah terrorists this month. North Korea test-fired an ICBM for the first time in almost a year, demonstrating an improved potential and ability to launch long-range nuclear attacks. North Korea has made strides in its missile technologies in recent years. The rocket fell into the Sea of Japan. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will spend Halloween scaring up votes in Arizona. Trump will rally in Glendale, Harris in Phoenix. Harris and Trump are neck and neck in critical swing states with less than a week to go. RNC Chair Michael Whatley tells Fox and Friends First strategies are working.
We've retooled our ground game this year to talk to low-propensity voters.
Trump will be making stops throughout the Southwest today. A Pennsylvania court is ordering Elon Musk to defend his $1 million giveaway ahead of the upcoming election. The Trump supporter was ordered to attend a court hearing in Philadelphia today. Mayor Brandon Johnson proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike to fill a nearly $1 billion deficit.
This is tough. It is. It is something that I grappled with for weeks and weeks.
Alderman Anthony Beal says maybe now the mayor will invite aldermen to the table.
Hopefully today we will be called into the room to start the discussion to balance this budget without having the TIF sweep and a massive property tax increase that is going to hinder the entire city of Chicago.
Also this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson's pick to head the Chicago Board of Education is facing calls to resign over divisive social media posts backing Hamas over Israel. 3 family members are dead, and the fire investigation continues today in North Suburban Zion. The blaze started Tuesday night. Authorities identified the 3 victims who died as Scott Copen, Gina Copen, and Crystal Copen. Bulls over the Magic. 102-99. Kobe White 21 in the win. Chicago's won 3 of 4. And the Blackhawks visit San Jose tonight. The news, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Larry Elder Show.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
People want change. They want this to be a change election. You're part of the administration. Nothing comes to mind.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hi, I'm Mark Rice, former Texan, energy entrepreneur, family man, and football coach. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 8th Congressional District. It's time for something different. We've all had enough of losing to the Democrats and the corrupt career politicians that are ruining our state and cities. I'll take action and bring some common sense to Congress. I'm not afraid to meet head-on the challenges we face daily, like the border situation, crime in our neighborhoods, inflation of everyday items like food, gas, and medical needs. We need to protect our freedoms, and I'm the person to get the job done. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Support my campaign in the 8th District, and let's take back our country, one House seat at a time. Vote for me, Mark Rice, for Congress. Go to rice4congress.com to get involved. I'm Mark Rice, and I approve this message. Paid for by Mark Rice for Congress Committee.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a multi-state PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group, as well as other teaching hospitals around the nation. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust.
He's a 30-year licensed broker
who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
7:38 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is the service of Trim Light Chicago. An hour 5 on the Kennedy inbound, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Outbound on the Ike, 32 minutes. Outbound to Manheim, 46 out to 390. Dan Ryan, due to an earlier accident, very heavy and slow. 44 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Accident on the Bishop Ford inbound at Cottage Grove. Accident on I-57 inbound at 111. You've got to see it to believe it. Amazing, customizable, and permanent holiday and year-round accent lighting for the exterior of your home or business. It's not too late to book your holiday installation, but do it today with Trim Light Chicago. Dan and Amy continue next on Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning showers in your forecast, though. Windy and temperatures are dropping throughout the day. We already hit our high of 70. We'll hit 38 for a low overnight. Rain and 64 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump rallying the faithful in Green Bay yesterday. And a quick turn by the campaign on the Biden garbage comment as Biden has stepped all over Kamala's messaging. Trump not only arriving in a garbage truck, but also donning the safety vest.
yeah.
And he explained the touch-and-go decision to wear the safety vest for the rally.
And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, you know, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, oh. And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage. I may never wear a blue jacket again. I may go.
The ultimate showman. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good meme circulating yesterday. Trump in the safety vest of the garbage guy, and then Trump at that McDonald's, and the caption was, "In Biden's America, you know, you have to take two jobs to survive," or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very
But
good.
he's
He's been
doing
in a lot of costumes lately.
Yeah, he's doing something like, you think Harris would ever climb her, suit pant out wearing outfits up into a garbage truck or go to a McDonald's? I mean, she wouldn't do any of that.
It's funny because it's, in some respects, I mean, it can be a little bit dangerous. You don't want your Dukakis in a tank moment, but he pulls it off. Packers legend Brett Favre. Brett Favre was there yesterday as well, and he took time to address the characterization of Trump supporters as garbage directly.
I want to address the comment that Joe Biden made yesterday, or last night, that said the supporters of Donald Trump, us, or garbage, I can assure you we're not garbage. How dare he say that looking out? I see police officers, teachers, nurses, grandparents, students. I see everyday Americans that make this country great.
For more on what's happening north of the Cheddar Curtain, please be joined again by Senator Ron Johnson, Republican senator from Wisconsin. Senator Johnson, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you too. Big event yesterday in Green Bay. How does it feel? How does Wisconsin feel to you? You know it well.
That was so much fun to be there last night. First of all, Brett did a fabulous job just speaking from the heart. It was just so genuine, such a genuine endorsement. And then Trump, just quintessential Trump. I don't know how people can hate him. I've said repeatedly, if you spend any time with Donald Trump, you cannot not like him. And if you didn't have the filter of the legacy media, I mean, Americans look at that. I mean, that was as funny a stand-up comedian spot as you could get. He's not a comedian. It was, again, just quintessential Trump. I mean, the whole thing, I got a call from the campaign. Can we get a garbage truck? I have a contractor. You know, they went to work on it. In the end, his campaign staff got the perfect truck. But, I mean, just his story about trying to get up in that. I mean, how old is Trump? He's in his late 70s.
Right.
That would be somewhat daunting. I'm 69. You kind of look at that, and man, that's a high step.
Yeah.
And said he had the adrenaline rushing, and he did it. But he just laid that whole thing out. It was just just so entertaining to listen to Trump, but then so poignant and genuine when Brett Favre said, we're not garbage. And this is the first time he's ever done something like this, Brett Favre. Spoken publicly, politically, endorsing somebody, because he realizes, like Elon Musk and Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, that this is a make-or-break moment for America, and that Democrat governance is disastrous, and we can't remain on this path much longer. It is Democrats. It's the radical left that are the danger to this democracy, not Donald Trump, not Donald Trump supporters. We're the group that love this country, that want to preserve it and save it.
Well,
it was a great evening.
Yeah. The Harris campaign is trying to downplay Biden's comments, but there still are 3% undecided voters out there. Frank Luntz, who is no friend to Republicans, he said that this could ruin Kamala's campaign. What do you think?
It certainly should. For my part, I said this shouldn't come as any surprise in terms of what Democrat leaders think of half of America. Joe Biden's been accusing us of being potential domestic terrorists. Hillary Clinton, we were deplorable. Obama said, we get bitter and we cling to our guns and religion like that's a problem. But probably the greatest insult that President Obama ever leveled is he said, in 5 days we're going to fundamentally transform America. And I was asked the question, do you even like let's love something you want to fundamentally transform? I always use the analogy. I look up, get up in the morning, look at Jane, my wife, and say, Jane, I love you, and I'm going to change everything about you. Fundamental transformation. President Obama sat in the pew of Reverend Wright, the man who said, no, not God bless America, God, you know what, America. And Barack Obama sat in that pew and listened to that. Michelle Obama said she was never really proud of America till my husband got elected president. That's what the leadership of the Democrat Party thinks of America. And again, I think it was the greatest line of Trump. You cannot lead America if you don't love Americans. And they do not love half of America. And I don't even think they love the other half that much. They just want their votes to give them power.
Yep.
The feeling on the ground in Wisconsin, we've seen in some of these other swing states that there's pretty heavy turnout in the early voting period from rural counties, which is a good sign. What do you feel about Wisconsin and those suburban and exurban counties having to sort of make up for Milwaukee and Dane?
On the ground, the people who support Trump, that love this country, we're panicked for this nation. We realize this is a make-or-break moment, so our enthusiasm is sky high. And what I keep saying, if in a sane world with an unbiased media, this election wouldn't even be close. How bad does it have to get? You've just had almost 4 years of a Democrat administration opening up the border, allowing almost 8 million people into this country. That's, by the way, a number larger than the population of 38 states. That's what they've done. 40-year high inflation, a dollar you held at the start of the Biden administration is now worth 83 cents. All these things have weakened America, emboldened our enemies, so the world's on fire. When America's weak, the world's a very dangerous place. So, how bad does it have to get? But, again, the Democrats have the legacy, the corporate media in their back pocket. They're advocates for the left themselves. And it still may be a close election, but it shouldn't be.
It's something else that's on the ballot in Wisconsin I wanted to mention, too, which is that there's an amendment to an amendment to bar non-U.S. citizens from voting. You wouldn't think that would be much in controversy, but that's also a commentary on where we are and where we are with that other party.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? Democrats, they want to have illegal immigrants vote. They want to make it easy to cheat, because they want to cheat, and they do cheat. And that's why we keep saying we need such an overwhelming result that the result is too big to rig. So, no, I'm highly concerned about what Democrats have planned, what they're implementing right now. We see it across the country. Illegal immigrants have been registered to vote, sometimes without their knowledge. Investigations in Pennsylvania about illegal immigrants, non-citizens being registered to vote. And we also have a great Senate candidate, Eric Hovde, Tammy Baldwin's entire campaign, like the Democrat presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. It's all been just a pack of lies. That's all they have. What drove me nuts is Kamala Harris said that the Republican playbook. We got to end this playbook of fear and division. So, are you kidding me? That is your playbook: fear, division, and add lies. Fear, division, lies. That's all the Democrats have. But I'd love to have Eric Hovde. If you want to help him, EricHovde.com. He needs some resources to refute the lies.
Yeah, they
he's
have
closing in on Tammy Baldwin.
They have the fear and the anger and the lies and the projection. That's their playbook. That's exactly right. If things do go well on Tuesday, and races like Hovde's do come in, Trump obviously, and you find yourself in a Senate majority come next year, what are your priorities going to be? Where do you think the Republican Party either should prioritize or divide up labor so as much can get done as quickly as possible?
Well, if we do run the table, we'll be like the dog that caught the car. Okay, I mean, there are such massive problems here. I would say the first order of business is prevent a $4 trillion plus automatic tax increase in 2026. We've got to get spending under control. I mean, there's no way we can continue to mortgage our children's future this way. Obviously, secure the border. President Trump will be able to use the executive authority he has. We'll certainly try to enhance that executive authority, but Democrats don't want to do that. I mean, they don't want a secure border. They wanted this open border, so they're not going to help us to actually secure the border. So President Trump will have to do it the way he did it in 2019. But those are the main priorities. We've got to get spending out of control. We've got to prevent a tax increase. President Trump will reduce regulations. Again, our economy should do well under President Trump. But again, there will be no help from Democrats in Congress whatsoever. They'll do everything they can to poison the well. It's going to be a challenge for President Trump not to be undermined by the deep state. Who he chooses to head these agencies, that he's got to pick really strong people that can get in there and make sure the agencies are actually working with him as opposed to against him.
Well, if the Republicans do take over the Senate, who would you like to see as Senate Majority Leader?
Rick Scott, without a question. I mean, he's an extraordinary individual. I mean, really a self-made man, raised by a single mom, put himself through college, GI Bill, served in the Navy, was the 8th largest employer in America when he ran the hospitals, became a very successful governor. We need somebody serious like Rick Scott who understands these challenges. You won't hide from them. You won't just be thinking about, okay, we got to win the majority or keep the majority, but will actually address these problems in a very thoughtful way. So I think the choice is clear. I just hope everybody puts pressure on their Republican member of the Senate to vote for Rick Scott.
And in 2020, obviously there were some questions surrounding the administration of the election in Milwaukee County. What's your confidence level in terms of the ballot security integrity programs that the Trump campaign, the local and state Republican parties are running in places like Milwaukee County this go around?
So we've done a very good job of recruiting poll workers who you have to do that a year ahead. They're paid, they're trained. It worked in 2022. I had a close race, but Milwaukee had their results in by 11 o'clock at night. I didn't have to worry about, are they going to find votes in Milwaukee, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that worked pretty well. Again, my main concern is illegal immigrants voting. Tony Evers has not provided the security on driver's licenses. We have same-day registration. So I'm concerned about that. But, again, we've got those poll workers in place. We've got attorneys that are be putting challenges for anything that looks untoward in these elections. So we've done what we can. But, again, it's hard to anticipate the number of different ways that Democrats are willing to cheat. I mean, just look at smurfing. The millions of dollars flowing in through Act Blue.
Yeah.
These donors have made tens of thousands of donations without their knowledge. I mean, it's obvious violation, but Christopher Wray, FBI director, completely clueless about it. Again, the deep state is a real problem. That's one of the things that Donald Trump has to address.
And I think it's very strange. I have liberal friends who, yet again, are driving to Wisconsin to be election judges. And I just think that we should keep them out of Wisconsin.
Just as long as they don't vote.
Well,
right. Yeah, right.
They better not.
Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin. Senator, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
After decades of treasured experiences and cherished moments, you want to feel the best that you can. Whether it's cheering on your grandchildren at their baseball games, planting new flowers in your yard, or simply spending quality time with loved ones. Take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements along with you. Made from whole fruits and vegetable ingredients, they are free from added fillers or preservatives. Embrace life's adventures with confidence, knowing you're getting more variety of fruit and vegetable ingredients every step of the way. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Mike G.
Did it happen again? You woke up this morning and achy joints, pain in your hips or your knees or your elbows or your back. Well, guess what? It's not going to go away. Hope is not an option. You have to do something about it. And taking those steroids and those over-the-counter medications is only a Band-Aid masking the real issue. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. So stop what you're doing right now and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, QC Kinetics can get you there. These are the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain, led by Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp, a pioneer in the technology, a former orthopedic surgeon. And QC Kinetics is giving people like you an option other than surgery. Here's what it is: an all-natural approach that harnesses your own body's healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain or pain due to an injury. Everybody's talking about this, folks. QC Kinetics joint pain treatments are life-changing for thousands of people, with more every day. So yes, you too can have real, lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without that precious downtime. Learn about all of your options at QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Do it. Call today. Get it done. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 5955.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Family, country, community. Ed Soliday has spent his life in service to others. A graduate of Valparaiso High School, Ed Soliday went on to attend Indiana University and served our country in the Army, where he earned the Distinguished Flying Cross, 2 Bronze Stars, and a Purple Heart. After his military service, Ed Soliday built a successful career as a pilot and flight safety expert, leading crisis management at United Airlines on 9/11. Now, Ed Soliday is serving us at the Indiana State House, where he puts people ahead of partisanship. Representative Ed Soliday is a respected voice working to protect taxpayers, secure our energy grid, and attract better-paying jobs to the region. Ed is endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, the Indiana State Police Alliance, and the Indiana Professional Firefighters PAC. Representative Ed Soliday. Common sense leadership for Northwest Indiana. Vote Ed Soliday for state representative on or before Tuesday, November 5th.
Paid for by friends of Ed Soliday Committee.
Success. It's discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel. It's where success meets success. Start your journey at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
There's no ignoring it. Americans know they've been lied to by the ruling class, that politicians want more control over their lives and more taxes for nonsense. Who voted for this, and how do we get back to normal? It starts by being informed. But who do you trust when the media censors information and colludes with those in charge for their own political power? Breakthrough Ideas is a beacon of clarity in the storm of politics. At Breakthrough, Jeannie Ives and her team follows the legislation and the money and reports back to you so you know who's on your side. Elections matter. Be an informed voter. You can do that by listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. right here on AM 560. Visit breakthrough-ideas.com to sign up for the newsletter, register for upcoming events, and stay informed with fresh content. Then connect with them on social media and share information with others. So together, we vote out the radicals and vote in common sense. That's breakthrough-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Expose on the Harris Walz campaign allegedly manipulating social media algorithms to spread disinformation. Oh, my goodness, disinformation. The Federalist has it. We'll talk to Joy Pullman from the Federalist about it at 8:08.
And later we will get to the most insulting commercial ever, well, campaign ad. But now let's check back into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Mayor Johnson proposes a 2025 budget. 3 family members killed in a Zion house fire, and the Bulls storm back to beat the Magic. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Expect more trash talk on the campaign trail. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump will campaign in New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada.
You know what? The truth is they've treated our whole country like garbage, whether they meant to or not, because they're grossly incompetent people, and they've destroyed our country.
That was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where Trump got in a garbage truck, then wore a worker's protective vest on stage, highlighting President Biden's comments the day before.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
Now, President Biden in the White House insists he didn't mean all Trump supporters are garbage. He just was denouncing one, the comedian at Trump's Sunday rally, who called Puerto Rico garbage, angering some minority voters. Like Trump, Vice President Harris will go to Arizona and Nevada. After rallies, also in Wisconsin and North Carolina, she also told Pennsylvania voters,
unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy from within.
New Fox News polls show the race still very close in 3 battleground states. A Trump-Harris tie in Pennsylvania among likely voters, with third-party candidates included. Trump is up by 2 points in North Carolina. Harris has a 2-point edge in Michigan, where Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
The results suggest Harris has nearly erased the former president's lead on the economy. 48% say they trust the vice president to do a better job on the issue, while 50% trust the GOP presidential nominee. A 2-point lead, but that's down from his 11-point lead on the issue months ago, before President Biden dropped from the race.
And we just got an inflation update, a gauge called personal consumption expenditures for September.
Let me give you the numbers. We came in at 0.2 up month over month. That was the estimate. 2.1 was the year-over-year estimate, in line.
That's Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni. In line means what economists predicted. It's also the same annual inflation rate as in August. 5 people are dead in northern Israel after a Hezbollah rocket attack from Lebanon, where Israel's also been bombing those militants for weeks. America's listening to Fox News.
It's 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Johnson proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike.
As a homeowner, this is not something that we take lightly. Here's what we're left with. Do we lay people off and cut services? Or do we make sure that our neighbors have jobs?
Mayor Johnson is picked to head the Chicago Board of Education, is facing calls to resign over social media posts about the war between Israel and Hamas.
Reverend Johnson has been a strong faith leader throughout the state of Illinois and has expressed sorrow and is seeking atonement for the words that he has shared and he has expressed.
More than 24 aldermen and women have signed a joint statement asking for the immediate resignation of the Reverend Mitchell Icana Johnson due to his anti-Semitic comments. A family of a Cook County jail inmate who was beaten to death last year is suing Cook County Sheriff's Office. Family member Mickey Fisher.
He should not have died in that manner so brutally. He didn't have a chance to run or fight. He didn't have a chance to defend himself. This is just reckless and negligent on behalf of Cook County.
Chicago sports found the Bulls winners over Orlando 102-99 last night. The Blackhawks taking on San Jose. The News, a service of Balance of Nature, fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Save 35% off your first preferred order with promo code Chicago. Order online at balanceofnature.com. Hurry, the offer ends soon. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Both Meta Platforms and Microsoft reported better than expected earnings, but the stocks are losing ground. Wall Street is pleased with demand jumping for artificial intelligence, but doesn't like all the money Meta is spending and was expecting an even stronger forecast from Microsoft. Wall Street will be reacting today to a fresh reading on inflation, the PCE report for September. Shell's earnings were lower in the recent quarter, but top forecasts. Merck's earnings came in better than expected, though it is lowering expectations because of 2 business development deals and the stock's lower. Among today's winning stocks, Comcast. The Paris Olympic Games gave the cable and entertainment media division a big boost. Earnings rose 3% from a year ago. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by the Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of @Properties, Christie's International Real Estate.
Building owners, property managers, and chief engineers. This one's for you.
Hello, this is Bruce Diedrich with Waukegan Roofing, your professional roofer. Everything starts on top. Your investment, your building, and everything in it is protected by your roof. It needs to be in good shape. That's where we can help. If it needs to be repaired or replaced, or you think it might, call us. Let's find out. Here's the number.
847-623-1625.
At Waukegan Roofing, our employees are union-trained roofing professionals with OSHA safety training certifications and have thorough knowledge and expertise regarding the various roofing systems we sell, maintain, and install. We know commercial roofing systems because that's all we do. Over 110 years of doing commercial roofs. Waukegan Roofing has the slogan,
Roofs you can rely on.
Because you can. Here's the number to call.
847-623-1625.
And get the info at waukeganroofing.com. waukeganroofing.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I'm a doctor myself. I've used it and I've turned a lot of my patients onto it as well. It's a good product.
You know, Balance of Nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural, I like. And so it made a lot of sense.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation welcomed U.S. Army Specialist Brent Menard into a new mortgage-free smart home in Florida. Now, while on a road clearance mission in Afghanistan, Brent's vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device. Brent became a T4 paraplegic. Tunnel to Towers built him a specially adapted smart home that allows severely injured heroes like Brett to live more independently. We hope you'll donate $11 a month so this great work can continue. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's 8:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of the Chicago Board of Elections. Bishop Ford, the exit ramp to 130th has been reopened, but there's stop-and-go traffic from Beaubien Woods, Doty Avenue, the Forest Preserve. After that crash had to be relocated and delays remain. Tri-State accident on 294 northbound just south of the Stevenson. Vehicle slammed into a guardrail. There are folks right now on the shoulder there as well, too, so drive with care. Debris on the roadway southbound on 294 near I-57. The Reagan has an accident eastbound 88 at Orchard Road, and an entrance ramp is partially blocked there, the off-ramp to Orchard Road. Early voting in downtown Chicago now open through Election Day, November 5th. Go to the Chicago Voting Super Site at 191 North Clark or the board offices, 69 West Washington. Go to chicagoelections.gov for more information. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Morning showers in your forecast, windy, temps dropping all day long. We started at 70. It'll be around 50 for trick-or-treating tonight and a low of 38 overnight. Currently, light rain in 64. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Two ads. Well, one ad and one sort of skit. One is an appeal to women to vote for Kamala Harris. And the other is appeal to honky men to vote for Kamala Harris. First, Billy Eichner and Will Ferrell. If you don't know Billy Eichner, he's kind of a comedic actor. And if you don't know Will Ferrell, he's sort of become kind of a comedic actor, too.
Everybody knows Will Ferrell.
I think you missed my point.
I know.
Yeah, you're talking over me.
Oh, my God.
Billy Eichner, doing it again. Billy Eichner and Will Ferrell, loud white men for Kamala.
Hey guys, it's Billy. I am back on the street with the one and only Will Ferrell, and we are out here today to represent a very important voting demographic, loud white men for Kamala Harris. So you ready, Will? Ah! Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Join the call.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Yeah, who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly. Have you voted yet?
Mail-in ballot. Right.
Oh, mail-in ballot, bitch! Miss, for $1, would you have sex with a Trump voter?
No.
Thank you. Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yes.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Yes, that's not that loud, but louder?
Oh, louder.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Louder!
I support Kamala.
Yeah! Miss, did you hear if Kamala wins, she's going to make Buddy the Elf Secretary of Christmas?
That would be phenomenal.
Would you have sex with a Trump voter?
Ugh.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sir, loud white men for Kamala. Join the call. Go Kamala! Yeah! Miss! For $1, for $1, for $1. Who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, there you go. Yes, yes. Okay.
Oh my God.
I have to go. Yeah. Tell everyone in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania to vote for Kamala.
East Stroudsburg, vote for Kamala.
Please, sir. Loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you voting for?
Kamala.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Corey.
Corey. Corey for Kamala.
What the heck was that?
That's fun.
That's not fun. That's annoying.
That's the joy vibe.
Oh, that's right. Joy.
So that's how you get white honkies to vote for Kamala. How you get the female honkies to vote for her is to tell them it's okay. You don't have to be dominated by your husband.
Do you sympathize with any voters who do feel offended?
Walking into a polling.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose. You can vote any way you want.
Yeah, thanks.
And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Well, as a woman, I find that as the most insulting campaign ad I have ever seen. As if we're so subservient and we're afraid our husband's going to beat us with a stick if we don't vote for Trump. What year is this? And honestly, it's like women are being, dishonest in their marriages. So don't be dishonest in your marriage. There's plenty of people who have marriages where the husband's a Republican or either way around and the wife's a Democrat.
Yeah, I don't understand those marriages, but that is true.
Well,
by the way, that was Julia Roberts, the Pretty Woman, that narrated that ad.
But also, too, the husband, they had gold piping on his hat. It looked as if he served, if he was a veteran of some, I don't know what branch of service, but that ad is very offensive. If you haven't seen it, we tweeted it out. Well, I tweeted it out. You can see it.
Joy Pullman is the executive editor of The Federalist, Federalist.com, author of False Flag, Why Queer Politics Mean the End of America. Joy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for having me.
When I was being compelled to consume that content you just heard, I was thinking about your column, how we're all transgender now, because those spots really seem to fit into the argument that you're making.
Oh, absolutely. Both of these are really playing up the cross-sex behavior of that Americans have been forced into over the last more than half century. With the men basically acting like middle school girls, with the Will Ferrell spot. Completely unmanly to be running around the streets shrieking like, you just, and paint, like you're painting your nails with glitter, and I don't know, it's just really.
Dyeing your hair pink? Yes.
Exactly. And then you have, these women sitting over here, why are you even married to men if you can't be honest with them? Why would you marry a man that you have to lie to all the time? That's a completely dishonest picture of marriage, and it really subverts the beautiful, complementarity that men and women show to each other in marriage. That does include, the fact that men are better functioning as leaders of the home and making decisive, protective decisions. And, frankly, every time I voted in a way against my husband, first of all, he never, in any way mistreated me over that. But second of all, he was right. In retrospect, I should have voted along with him in the past. And I know a lot of women who say, yeah, my husband tends to have better political judgment. And I only sometimes realize that a couple of years later.
But who thought this was a good idea? I just looked at the campaign ad over and over again. And I thought, what kind of person would even script an ad like that?
Well, so I believe, if I remember correctly, it's, the Lincoln Project that's behind the, women lying to their husbands. And again, what an act of disrespect. It's way more respectful to tell your husband, hey, I disagree with you, here's why, rather than, going into that voting booth and acting, and just subverting him without talking about it face-to-face and having an honest conversation like any functional married couple should be able to do. That's really showing up was really dysfunctional dynamic going on in those marriages for women who, whatever, very small number of women who are married who feel like they have to do that. But the Lincoln Project that I believe is behind that ad, it has been linked to, some of its founders have been linked to, let's just say, sexually deviant activities, including potentially reaching out to younger male staffers. So I don't think the people behind this ad really have good understanding of sexual relations and dynamics and healthy relationships going on. If anyone just looks them up, you can see more background on that.
The ad is like most every sitcom. The husband is a uncouth doofus, and the wives are these sort of long-suffering wives who have to deal with the backwardness of their husband. And because there's a moment in the spot where go ahead and vote, honey, and then the two women are in polling booths across one another, and they look up at each other and they lock eyes and they just have like a knowing smile, and then they fill in the Walls Harris bubble and so forth. The whole thing. But it's every sitcom, just about every sitcom too. That's
just a slap to any woman who who may be in a relationship like that. Which again, I'm not convinced there are that many, because women who behave that way tend to be divorced if they ever were married in the first place. Very hard for you to attract a man when you can't respect him enough to tell him what you think and have honest conversations with him, that is, again, not the basis for a loving, functional relationship. But, women, so if there are any women like this, that in their marriage is functioning like that, man, I predict a pretty soon divorce, right? And nobody wants a divorce. It's obviously shows a failure of the people going into. So these people are really celebrating having a dysfunctional marital life and relationships between men and women in a way where you can't communicate honestly and level with each other, and maybe even try to persuade each other or talk through major issues that really do matter. The last thing I wanted to say is, like, just imagine how actually having married a husband like that makes these women look stupid, right? Why would they ever marry a man who's a doofus, who apparently, is commandeering them and bullying them around? That speaks poorly of the woman's decision of husband if they happen to be married to a guy like that.
Well, the going back to your column too, we're all transgender now, which is interesting because you sort of take on this characterization that comes from some conservatives, including like Heather McDonald, that what we have is a ongoing feminization of society. So I just want you to develop your thesis a little bit.
Right. So in that article, I kind of talk about there's been a growing discussion, especially among the right, because quite frankly, it's taboo to criticize women on the left for any reason. They can literally have, so I saw the other day, a woman actually took some sort of medications in order to induce the death of her 20-week-old baby, and she was punished for that because because she didn't do it through an abortion, and she did a self-abortion essentially. And then the left came to her rescue, saying that someone who literally killed her own baby, who could have survived outside of the womb, somehow a hero, right? So the left brooks zero criticism of women for even purposefully inducing the death of their own children. But on the right, there's been some discussion about, how the lack of people's ability to take correction, the ability to criticize women for anything ever actually makes women more dysfunctional, like it would any group. If you can't criticize any person for something, criticism is a way of promoting growth. It's promoting self-development. Sometimes criticism is unfounded, and then we have a lot of baseless smears and lies and accusations from the left. But there is also positive, constructive criticism, and all of us need to hear that, at points in our lives in order for us to grow as people, because none of us is perfect, and we all, could become better in some way. And someone pointing actually a way that you can become better is one of your best friends is really doing you a favor. So the people on the right have been talking about that in terms of women, and one of my responses is, I actually don't think that it is super feminine, healthy feminine, to be sort of doing this cry-bullying, victim cosplaying behavior. What that really is emotional and mental regression. It is never coming out of the middle school girl stage. I know plenty of competent, mature women who are fully feminine, who are not acting as a man or putting on the pants in their family, but they don't do the backbiting and the cry bullying and the shouting down and the crying and the tears over people that they disagree with. All this stuff that that is kind of tagged as feminine misbehavior that is destroying society. So my argument is that what we really have is not over feminization, but we really have under feminization, and we have again the encouragement for men to act like women, as we've seen with that Will Ferrell ad, and for women to act like men. And the resulting social transgenderism makes people dysfunctional and unhappy. Men and women are happy when they act in their natural biological capacity. Women to be nurturing, loving, receptive, welcoming, just helping the people's relationships to get along, comforting. Men are better, when they are leadership roles, when they are respected, when their judgment is trusted and developed, when they have practice making decisions like that. And that's a sort of yin-yang dynamic that across the entire world and history, all cultures, when they respect what men and women biologically are good at, then their cultures tend to flourish. When we ask women to act in a male capacity, and we ask men to behave like women, then everything gets dysfunctional and crazed. And I think we can just see many, many ways in which our society, our dysfunction relates to both this cross-genderism and the repression of the actual, female nurturing, loving, and instincts that women really do have but are repressed, right? Women are encouraged. We're only celebrated when we are acting like men. We are not celebrated when we're acting like women. And I think we need a lot more of both of those things.
I wanted to get your review of this expose that's the Federalist has done, a two-part so far, expose on how the Kamala campaign is manipulating the algorithms in certain social media sites like Reddit and even X to spread disinformation. I mean, that's the top line of it.
Yes, well, we actually just had the third installment of that come out this morning. I edited it myself, and that one speaks about how the Kamala Harris campaign. So for listeners who might be of a certain age or listening, there's a large internet kind of forum site called Reddit, and there's different topics within it, and there's one that organizes for the Kamala Harris campaign. On that campaign, our writer has documented evidence of campaign officials for Kamala soliciting foreign volunteers to come knock on doors in battleground states, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in Wisconsin. They're inviting people, for example, from Canada to come be involved in what would be called foreign interference in American elections if the Trump campaign were doing it. That's being requested and encouraged by Kamala campaign operatives. We have a screenshot up today of the Kamala campaign also encouraging foreigners to donate to their campaign through basically a loophole election vehicle, and it basically invites foreign money into American elections on behalf of the Kamala campaign. And as you mentioned, that's just the third installment. Previous ones were showing, for example, how the people involved on this forum, thousands of them worked to change what people can see online and social media by flooding, downvoting certain posts or criticizing them. And we don't know necessarily if there is a correlation between between that action and what I'm about to mention, but it could be the case. So, for example, if folks have heard about the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump that went up this last Friday, that was not visible you could not see it on YouTube. If you typed it in, you would never see the full video of it. And one of the ways that may have been done is if it was, reported as a violation by tens of thousands of people on the internet. And so one of the ways that is used to coordinate those sorts of downvoting to hide information online that hurts Democrats is through this forum that our writer is exposing on the Federalist this week.
Very interesting. Good expose. Look forward to getting into that third installment. Joy Pullman is the executive editor of The Federalist, Federalist.com, author of False Flag, Why Queer Politics Mean the End of America. Joy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Early voting in downtown Chicago is now open through Election Day on November 5th. You can now go to the Chicago Voting Super Site at 191 North Clark or board offices at 69 West Washington Street on the 6th floor to vote. Early voting in all 50 wards of Chicago begins Monday, October 21st at 9 a.m. Any voter can vote at any early voting site, no matter where they live in the city. Same-day registration is available at all early voting sites. Just bring 2 forms of ID, one with your current address. Go to chicagoelections.gov for more information.
All right, a lot of candy is going to be in front of your face tonight as you hand out the goodies to the trick-or-treaters. But what about the fruits and veggies? You can't forget about those, because if you want to remain healthy and happy and energized, do what I've been doing for the past 10 years and take Balance of Nature fruits and veggie supplements. It's so easy to open the individual capsules and dust them over a salad or mix them into a juice drink or warm water. And thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature, and you will too. 6 capsules a day provides your body, heart, and mind with several servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You'll love it. Your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. So order your fruits and vegetable supplements today by calling this number, 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35%.
I don't need to tell you how important a good night's sleep is, but like most people, sometimes you can't fall asleep or you wake up during the night. That's why I want to tell you about Z-Factor. Z-Factor is a 100% drug-free way to help you fall asleep faster, sleep longer, and sleep better. Z-Factor is from the makers of Relief Factor. Now, Z-Factor uses a formula of 4 all-natural ingredients to calm your mind and relax your body so you ease into sleep faster and sleep through the night. Just ask Maureen G. She said, quote, "This product broke a 15-year nightly cycle of lying in bed for hours before falling asleep," unquote. Or Bernard K., who said, "It cut down significantly the amount of times I wake up." Rediscover the joy of a great night's sleep, just like Barbara, who called it the best sleep I ever had. Try Z-Factor from Relief Factor and save 46% on your first order. Just go to ReliefFactor.com to order, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF for Z-Factor.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Crime is up in Illinois, and I'm not sitting back to wait and watch dangerous, radical left policies destroy Kane County. I'm Andrew Sosnowski. I have over 35 years of experience with prosecutions of crime, advocating for victims and children. I'm the independent prosecutor in the race for Kane County State's Attorney, and I will work to end cronyism in the office. I will root out the causes of crime, collaborate with law enforcement, and be the lead county prosecutor who will fight for our freedom, safety, and security. Vote for the only law and order candidate, me, Andrew Sosnowski, for Kane County State's Attorney on Tuesday, November 5th. Early voting starts September 27th and runs through November 4th. Go to SosnowskiForKane.com to learn more. Remember, without safety and security, we do not have liberty. I'm Andrew Sosnowski, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sosnowski for Kane Committee.
Hey, it's Matt Walsh, podcaster, best-selling children's author, and world-renowned DEI consultant. My hit comedy and #1 grossing documentary of the decade, Am I Racist?, is now streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus. I went undercover into the world of DEI and got the elites of the establishment to say all the quiet parts out loud. But the only way to watch Am I Racist is with a Daily Wire Plus membership. Head to dailywire.com/subscribe. Use code DEI for 35% off your new annual membership. Don't miss it. Am I Racist? Streaming now exclusively on Daily Wire Plus.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, it's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
8:38, we'll check in on the situation in North Carolina with Jason Simmons, who is the chairman of the North Carolina GOP. That's 8:38.
Yeah, and how all the people affected by the hurricane were able to vote. But now let's head into that newsroom once again. Here's the best in the business, Mike Scott.
8:32, 63 degrees, light rain showers. And Canadian and American officials are investigating after a 33-year-old mother climbed over a safety rail and intentionally went over Niagara Falls with her 2 children, a 9-year-old and a 5-month-old, according to New York State Police, who just moments ago said search and rescue efforts were unsuccessful overnight. Survivors of the worst natural disaster to hit Spain this century have awoken to scenes of devastation. Flash flooding has claimed about 95 lives. North Korea test-fired an ICBM for the first time in almost a year. According to local sources, North Korea has made strides in its missile technologies in recent years. The rocket fell into the Sea of Japan. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will spend Halloween scaring up votes in Arizona. Trump rallying in Glendale, while Harris will be holding a rally in Phoenix. Halloween snow in Minnesota today, up to 6 inches. Chilly and wet in western Wisconsin as well. Mayor Brandon Johnson proposing a 2025 budget that includes a $300 million property tax hike to fill a nearly $1 billion budget deficit, along with a major TIF sweep. Also this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson's picked to head the Chicago Board of Education. Is facing calls to resign over divisive social media postings about the war between Israel and Hamas. Last night, at a rally in the Rogers Park neighborhood, Mother Chaya Carlson says it's not safe in Chicago public schools for her son.
My son, every day since October 7th has happened, has experienced anti-Semitism in the school.
And a longtime aide to former Illinois Speaker Michael Madigan, revealing details about his control of the State House. That aide spent more than 15 years working for Madigan and the Democrat Party of Illinois, referring to Mike Madigan on the stand in Madigan's trial at the Dirksen Federal Building as the ultimate decision maker. Bulls beat the Magic 102-99. Blackhawks take on San Jose tonight, and the Dodgers are World Series champs, winning Game 5 over the Yankees 7-6. The news service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. What if you could save on average 90% for dental implants and get 100% of your smile back? With a Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO, or FEP, it's possible. Check if you qualify. AlmostFreeTeeth.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher can see the hatred.
She thinks the holiday that celebrates the discovery of the Americas and the birth of Western civilization is a horrible thing. It's because she's not very fond of the United States of America. Americans aren't going to elect a president who has such deep disdain for the founding of Western civilization.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Let's get real. Did you wake up this morning with joint pain? Does it hurt doing the most routine activities? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, QC Kinetics can get you there. Folks, it's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Learn about all of your options at QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics. Call 312-809-5955.
This hourly segment is brought to you by IDT. Eliminate paper files with the IoT Smart Connected Scanning Device. Find them at ready4idt.com.
8:38, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of LifeLock. As Cybersecurity Awareness Month wraps up, remember to update your software to fix security issues that identify thieves, things that thieves use to exploit to steal personal info. And for comprehensive identity theft protection, choose LifeLock today at lifelock.com/cybersecurity. Inbound Kennedy at 1 hour, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stevenson stop and go between Central and Kedzie. 45 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Southbound 55, an accident just cleared on the off-ramp to Route 126. Stop and go on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Southbound, here's your jammed up Lawrence down to Fullerton. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Morning showers, windy. Temps are dropping throughout the day to an overnight low of 38. Currently light rain and 63. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So this is now a couple days old, but North Carolina a couple days ago passed the 3 million voter mark, 3 million votes mark in early voting. And Republicans had a slight 35,000 vote lead in the early voting, just Republicans versus Democrats, not including more than 1 million votes of others too, independents basically. So what does that really tell us about where North Carolina is trending? How does it feel on the ground, and particularly with the Helene variable in terms of people actually being able to get to vote, as the cleanup and restoration, is just still in its obviously very early stages. That's going to be a years-long process. To help us understand North Carolina and how things are going for the Trump campaign down there, pleased to be joined by Jason Simmons, who is the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. Jason, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So how do you feel about what the early voting numbers look like?
We're very encouraged by what we continue to see. As you indicate, we've now gone over the 3 million mark for early vote in person, as well as absentee ballots that have been returned. And what we are seeing is an unprecedented amount of Republicans across the state showing up in droves. They've been frustrated with what they've seen over the past 4 years. And as you mentioned, with Hurricane Helene and the response by the federal government, it's only amplified that frustration. And so we are seeing at this point more than 47,000 Republicans have voted over the Democrats. So this is an unprecedented territory as we wrap up early vote this Saturday.
What was it like 4 years ago by comparison?
Well, what we've continued to see is Republicans have outperformed where we were in 2020, and Democrats are way under their mark. There is not a single county across North Carolina where they have more votes today than they did 4 years ago. Republicans have never finished the early vote period here in North Carolina go into election. Trump won here in 2016. He won in 2020, and he's on the verge of doing so again for a third straight time.
Can you tell us how it works if somebody lost their home and they have no identification, and how that works? How you can still get them to be able to vote if they have none of those items?
No, very fair question. So I've had the opportunity in the last couple of weeks to travel across Western North Carolina, visit with our leaders, standing up the early vote locations across North Carolina's impacted counties. Each and every one of them were able to stand up their early vote locations on time, have the machines, have the ballots, and what we saw were long lines and especially record-breaking numbers by Republicans in those areas. For those that have been impacted by the hurricane, where they've lost their homes or they've lost ID, where this is the first election that North Carolina is being able to show voter ID after 10 years of Democrats hindering that, as it's been passed both by our legislature as well as a constitutional amendment. But if you do not have your ID because of the storm, you're able to fill out a reasonable impediment form and be able to cast a ballot that way.
Do you have any idea what the composition of the electorate that's turned out so far is? I mean, are these low propensity voters? Are you seeing a spike in low propensity voters? Are these higher propensity voters? I mean, you're trying to get a handle on whether or not the early vote is sort of cannibalizing the election day vote, or you're really seeing something that is, representative of a surge.
No, very fair question. So what we continue to see is Republicans outperforming Democrats with the low to mid propensity voters. So we have a lot of voters that have not voted yet that voted on Election Day in 2020. So we still have a large amount of our voters, over 90%, that will still turn out between now and Election Day that voted in 2020 on Election Day.
And other than obviously the Helene issue, which you just addressed, do you have any ballot integrity issues that have arisen, as we're seeing now starting to pop up in places like Pennsylvania and Michigan?
Not to the extent that we've seen in those areas. We do have some, some of the routine and some of the things that we've seen have been addressed. We've got a great team here on our election integrity, over 615 attorneys, as over 8,500 election integrity volunteers out there, watching what's going on with curbside voting as well as inside the voting, early voting locations. And so as they see something, they are encouraged to say something and report it up to our hotline to be able to get that information to our
down ballot, is the governor's race, is that competitive, or what's your handle on Mark Robinson in that race?
Well, all of our races are competitive. So as you continue to see, especially with the turnout, as the Republican vote is up and Democrat vote is down, it will have a good impact for all of our races up and down the ballot.
Jason Simmons, chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. You take care.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number: 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
If you have high blood pressure, you have the #1 risk factor for mortality.
Don't be a walking time bomb. Make this change and watch your blood pressure drop.
Order a 120 Life today.
Yes, 120 Life is an amazing blend of superfood juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure.
It's been endorsed by thousands of health professionals and doesn't have the side effects of medication.
It's up to you to control your blood pressure, not Big Pharma.
Seriously, 120 Life could be the natural game changer in your life. Try it yourself risk-free with a 2-week trial pack. You've got nothing to lose but your high blood pressure.
Go to 120life.com and use promo code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
120 Life is so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in just 2 weeks, they'll give your money back if you're not satisfied.
Order the 8-ounce drink or powdered mix. From pomegranates to cranberries, it's the delicious way to lower your blood pressure. It really works.
Go to 120life.com now. Use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Family, country, community. Ed Soliday has spent his life in service to others. A graduate of Valparaiso High School, Ed Soliday went on to attend Indiana University and served our country in the Army, where he earned the Distinguished Flying Cross, 2 Bronze Stars, and a Purple Heart. After his military service, Ed Soliday built a successful career as a pilot and flight safety expert, leading crisis management at United Airlines on 9/11. Now, Ed Soliday is serving us at the Indiana State House, where he puts people ahead of partisanship. Representative Ed Soliday is a respected voice working to protect taxpayers, secure our energy grid, and attract better-paying jobs to the region. Ed is endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, the Indiana State Police Alliance, and the Indiana Professional Firefighters PAC. Representative Ed Soliday. Common sense leadership for Northwest Indiana. Vote Ed Soliday for state representative on or before Tuesday, November 5th.
Paid for by friends of Ed Soliday Committee. For anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. A couple of palate cleansers from the sports world that were kind of fun, just to take a little bit of a break from the heaviness of the presidential race and the upcoming election. So the Dodgers win the World Series last night, and I did see that, I think the game
Fan
5 that I
interference.
missed. Or game 4 that I missed, I should say. Yeah, the fan interference, Mookie Betts. And, of course, Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski, he took time away from writing letters to Santa and drinking chocolate milk to address the unbelievable fan interference. Gronkowski knows the guy that was prying the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove from college.
Yeah, they went to University of Arizona. They're both Wildcats, don't you know?
And
We're seeing here.
this is actually the first time I'm seeing this live. And here's a little fun
not
fact. That
live.
guy right there grabbing Mookie Betts' glove
Don't tell me you know
was
him.
my friend in college.
Gronk, stop
Guy
it
was on the
right
ice-
now.
He was on the ice hockey team, the club Arizona Wildcats team, ice hockey team. And let me tell you, the whole hockey team, they were absolute maniacs. They were undescribable, just how wild
Animals?
these guys, animals, yes, how wild these guys were. Him doing that represents him very well. I mean, he is all in for his teams. He is all in for the Yankees. I remember him talking about the Yankees all the time, how he loves them so much. And that describes him perfectly, just doing whatever it takes to help his team out. But
Are
he's
you
a
wa-
beauty.
okay, that-
He is a beauty.
Okay,
And I
hold
just
on.
want to say congratulations.
Congratulations!
For shining when your moment came.
So he and his buddy were kicked out. They had tickets to Game 5 to last night's game, and
They're banned for
took
life.
them back.
Yeah,
They
of
paid
course.
them back.
Yeah, that's going all in for you. You know, you of course there's reaction being in terms of being critical of Gronk for seeming to endorse this. Yeah, this is to going all in for your team and so on and so forth. And the guy's a beauty. He rose to the moment. Not exactly, but but I have a hard time criticizing him since I defend the Legee father and son team.
Oh, that's right.
On the South Side. So, Yeah.
Then why did you defend them? I mean, they were at a Cubs game first, and then they took the red line to the cell, and I mean, they were absolutely hammered when he went out there.
They were all in for their team, as Gronkowski was describing that dude who was trying to take Mookie Betts' glove off of his hand. I mean, that
looked like they were trying to rip off his hand, his free hand.
That is fan interference doesn't quite capture
an
that moment. Someone that didn't rise to the occasion when it was his moment. I'm not saying he's not also a beaut, but did not rise to the occasion, of course, was the Bear and Bears cornerback. I mean, I hate to
the
continue.
most hated man in Chicago this week.
I think
Just
it's
say
going
his
to be.
name.
I think it's going to be a while. Tyreek Stevenson.
Yes, I know. Quinn actually thinks that people aren't going to remember that in a week. I said, no, people will never ever forget that.
It's going to be hard to forget because they're going to replay it about a million more times than the fluty Jared Phelan Hail Mary at college. But anyway, or Cordell Stewart against Michigan, Colorado, Michigan. You think? I mean, you can immediately, when you think Hail Marys, you immediately know if you follow this, you immediately know the quarterback and the receiver, the teams. So yeah, this is not going away anytime soon. And so a couple of enterprising super fans took to memorializing what happened this past Sunday.
Here we are again, my friends, back in the darkness once again. Had this game won and then we let it go. No time was left, just one prayer of a throw. And a vision that I can't shake from my brain. Oh, the pain. Lost on a Hail Mary. Hey, in the end zone, he's alone. Just knock it down, beat them at home. But Tyreek Stevenson decided to taunt all the fans before the game was true. Daniels chucked it up. The Bears didn't know what to do. The lead we blew, lost on a Hail Mary. The Bears.
Very good. Actually, pretty good voices too. In addition to the Chicago brogue, if you will, before the game was true. Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Before
Yeah.
the game was
Yeah. It's
true.
nice. Well, so that song will help Tyreek Stevenson live in infamy until he does, something heroic to erase it or at least mollify it a little bit. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Let's get real. Did you wake up this morning with joint pain? Does it hurt doing the most routine activities? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, QC Kinetics can get you there. Folks, it's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Learn about all of your options at QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics. Call 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a doctor myself. I've used it and I've turned a lot of my patients onto it as well. It's a good product.
You know, Balance of Nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural, I like. And so it made a lot of sense.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know what, Dan, that Hail Mary, I was there as a reporter. September 24th, 1994. It was awesome. Never forget it. You dressing up for Halloween? Or you?
Which Hail Mary was that?
The Cordell Stewart. The Colorado-Michigan game. I was in
okay.
D-Town, and I'd always have to go to Ann Arbor on Saturdays. Candy, you going to be handing it out today? Do octogenarians trick-or-treat in Naples?
I'm traveling today, so yeah, my house will be off limits unless Hayek wants to hand out candy.
Oh, that would be great. He'd be wonderful. All right. Happy Halloween. Happy birthday to Ronnie Woo Woo. We hope he's in the hospital today, so we hope his procedure goes well. And have fun trick-or-treating or handing out candy to those who come to your door. I'm going to put up a Trump sign, Dan, so I won't have one trick-or-treater this afternoon.
There you go.
Thanks to Justin Kosick, Quinn McCarthy. We're back bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott. Mike Scott, what do you have at your household for the trick-or-treat?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Halloween is not my favorite.
Melissa does that?
Yeah.
It's just not fun. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
The race for president runs through more battleground states. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. 5 days before the election.